the Cabinet of the Secretary General of the United Nations, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana, and senior government officials, the chairman for this occasion, Osaberima Kwesiata II, who's the paramount chief of the Ogua traditional area, Reverend Al Sharpton, thank you for joining us at the African Burial Grounds this morning. Thank you very much. Members of the Congressional Black Caucus are here. Let's recognize you. Thank you very much. And for one of time, let me recognize our brothers from CARICOM, from Africa, and from everywhere in the world. Your Excellencies, distinguished representatives of member states of the United Nations, ladies and gentlemen, truth begins with language, with the power that words hold to shape consciousness and to shift perspectives to propel an action or other. I therefore offer this truth as a starting point. There's no such thing as a slave. There were human beings who were trafficked and then enslaved by people who believed they could own those human beings as chattels, as their personal property. Some will hear this and think I'm splitting hairs. Isn't that the same thing, they might ask? No, it's not. Not at all the same thing. Not if you acknowledge an individual's humanity. Not if you respect an individual's basic right to dignity. The entire transatlantic slave trade was designed to deny African people their humanity. And that denial was premised on a racial hierarchy with no basis in fact or science, a racial hierarchy that deemed whiteness superior and blackness inferior. The atrocities that were committed against enslaved Africans, the myriads of injustice that were born of slavery and carried forward into successive social framework, took place specifically because those persons were considered objects, not human beings. So when discussing slavery and its resulting institutions and practices, we must always start by reclaiming racial equality, the dignity of Africans, the humanity of our ancestors who were enslaved, and as a matter of course, our own humanity. Recently, someone asked me to explain the importance of the resolution on the declaration of the trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. And I responded without pause or hesitation, and I'd like to share what I told him. This resolution allows us as a global community to collectively bear witness to the plight of about more than 12.5 million men, women, and children whose homes, communities, names, families, hopes, dreams, futures, and lives were stolen from them over the course of 400 years. I speak these words today not only for Ghana, but also in solidarity with the rest of Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and the wider diaspora, and indeed all people of good conscience throughout the world. This resolution is a pathway to healing and reparative justice. This resolution is a safeguard against forgetting. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, violence begins with language. When words are weaponized or to codify abuse, when people are called out of their names, regardless of their state of dress, when slaves were captured, they were always stripped of their clothing while being kept in the dungeons of the fortresses that had been built on the African coast by the European traders. They were forced with their limbs chained and shackled into the hold of cargo ships. They remained naked, packed like sardines during the month-long journey through the Middle Passage. Not all those who were loaded onto the ships survived the voyage. A number of the ships sank with their entire human cargo. Others who fell sick were thrown overboard. And a few who preferred death to captivity voluntarily jumped overboard. It is believed that 10 to 20% of enslaved people died in the Middle Passage. Whenever a ship arrived at its destination, the enslaved people, still naked, were taken to the market where they were inspected and appraised like livestock. They were then placed on an auction block in front of an audience of potential buyers and sold to the highest bidder. Once they arrived on the plantation where they would work and live for a lifetime, they were also stripped of their names. And so you were no longer Fatu, or Kofi, or Bubakar, or Nanayao, or Menka, Nayong, or Hamisu. You were given names like Ben, Jemima, John, Toby, or Mary. In addition to these new names, they were also called girl or boy, regardless of how old you were. And maybe I should also say that filthy N-word. If you ever needed a surname, it would be that of your master. And sometimes they were branded like cattle with the plantation's insignia or logo. There were sugar plantations. There were also coffee, cotton, tobacco, and cocoa plantations in the Caribbean and the Americas. South America had diamond and gold mines as well. And also the production of indigo took place in Jamaica. The people who were enslaved labored on those plantations from sunrise to sunset. And the conditions under which they worked were brutal. They were beaten occasionally to the point of death. They were underfed. They were kept in cramped quarters and often died young, if not from labor, then from disease. There are even records of some enslaved women who were kept as breeders. Let's not mince words, ladies and gentlemen. Business was booming because when labor is free, profit margins are huge. African lives were disposable. If too many of the enslaved Africans died, more were captured from their homes on the continent, enslaved and trafficked. During conversations about slavery, the point at which euphemisms are introduced, and there's a rush to talk about abolition. But we cannot afford to look away. This is precisely the part when we should pay close attention, because the devil is in the detail. And I'm going to share 4 trafficking destinations with you. Remember, when you hear these numbers, that it's not about data. These are about human beings and human lives. Roughly 6 million enslaved Africans were trafficked to Brazil, which is the 5th largest nation in the world, stretching 4,400 kilometers from north to south and 4,320 kilometers from east to west. Almost 2 million enslaved Africans were trafficked to Jamaica, which was the most profitable of all sugar-producing locations. Jamaica is 235 kilometers long and between 34 and 84 kilometers wide, depending on which point you are located. About 500,000 enslaved Africans were trafficked to America from the early 17th century, when the first ship arrived, to the 19th century, when chattel slavery was eventually abolished. America grew from 3 colonies to an independent nation with 36 states. Over 450,000 enslaved Africans were trafficked to Barbados, an island that is 34 kilometers wide and 34 kilometers long and 23 kilometers wide. Before the trafficking of enslaved Africans, plantation labor in Barbados came from white indentured servants who were usually Irish. There were 2 major problems with indentured servants. One was that they eventually had to be granted their freedom. And the other was that if they ran away, catching them proved challenging because they blended in, they were white. In 1661, Barbados enacted a code for the enslaved. And in the preamble, it said, Negroes are described as, and I quote, a heathenish, brutish, and uncertain, dangerous kind of people, quotations closed. It goes on to explain that this is why there must be a set of laws detailing how they should be punished. Clause 2 of the same code details what to do if any Negro man or woman shall offer any violence to any Christian, as by striking or the like. And it goes on to say that if it is a first offense, the Negro should be severely whipped by the constable. However, if it is the Negro's second offense, he shall be severely whipped, his nose slit, and be burned in the face. The code gave owners and overseers the ability to torture, maim, and even kill enslaved Africans with impunity. And became something of a template for the rest of the Anglo-Atlantic world. In 1662, a year after Barbados enacted this code, a legal doctrine was established to set judicial precedent in the American colony of Virginia. It was titled Partus Sequitur Ventrum, for those of you who understand Latin, which translates from Latin as, what is born follows the womb. This legal framework ensured that all children born of enslaved women would also automatically be enslaved regardless of who the father was. And it is important to note that many enslaved women were impregnated because they were raped by the plantation owners or their overseers. But what this law did, even in cases where a baby was not the product of rape, was to strip the child of its paternity in the eyes of the law. That child, as an enslaved person, was property that could be given or sold at its owner's whim. The doctrine was adopted throughout the Americas, including in Brazil. People will sometimes try to put a disclaimer on slavery by insisting that you cannot use the social norms of today to judge the actions and events that took place in the past. Well, such people are loud and wrong. Just because everybody is doing something doesn't make it right. Slavery is wrong now, and it was wrong then. For as long as Africans have been trafficked and enslaved, there have been abolitionists who have spoken up against it. The first slave ship landed in America in 1619. Opposition to chattel slavery was voiced and mentioned in passing in documents. But in 1688, the Germantown Friends, a group of Quakers, put out a formal written protest against slavery. And in it they wrote, and let me quote, "Now, though they are black, we cannot conceive there is more liberty to have them slaves as it is to have other white ones. There's a saying that we shall do to all men like as we would have done to ourselves."
TVSYZ. We are also live on Power 97.9 FM. Inside Politics, Jumedi, Anna Yesin Kunyana, Fin, Semo Echego, Mangana Ha, Yebetimidi, Mun Chilemu, Senefata, Betting Ababesumu, Few, Jumem, Wakemu, Anabe Bia, Betting Yajebre, now Washe Jumedi Ebi, Anase, Wetie, Ewo, Radio So. Uko Facebook, Ayo, at Power 979 FM, Uchoring in Aboma, Abose Jumediano, Echego Live and Kaledo, or TVSYZ in so Facebook. Nemo Bomadinko PM, Ewo YouTube, XYZ Broadcasting. Now, for what Timmy Ajebre, now Washe Jumedi Ebi, now for and someone Baba Kanyina, won't sweat me to against Atwasia, woman Pemmy Bejebre, Niaken Kain Ediama, Mr. Kevin Asante, enemy producer, Afe, Lizzie, and the Chimney makeup, Maya Kamadia Babisia, na fe Mindi Jumedi Eba Wakwemni in Ayadi Mujuma. Okwamsia, Mr. Peter Cranton, Mr. Emmanuel Kisi, Abbas, Pedifuri in our Wamoho, our Wamosha TV, so Ebeye Kama, na fe Yetimia this Jumedi Abum. Mianka sa Bibiana Jebre, Namisi Mugabi, Master the capacity man, Anemo Jumedi so, Namebe Sumo Midi. Adi enke Obrempong, the grassroots president who kwapamai kania metrasi biya pe debi amakachireo ne wahunu se ye nokre eye pepepe yo eye mpuntio eye ade ebetimi de niema pa aba oman mu ma ehon faso na timi aka ye nyina ye ma me ye politics huya na abiri biya no ibedi nokre ne bebreo na fei wanka se waye nhwehwemu na ne bebo oman no watwe ho abata ho said the abribi o mani betimi akonkan na ye nyina no ye ho atimi atoye wani je adwuma pane ne ma bi a ye hwehwe se ya brabo ebe koyie ene ye nsem no so hu tebusu anka be hu edos bebre yie pa but ye jebre na fe ne se ne fata hu hia se wonso timite hu ase ewo se ne amamuo ne ekro the politicians and I say amanyofo wo mo keka the minority the majority the obia ahanum ane ade ebramo na afi yatoa jumedie no so yanda ne yehombra yenya dane yehomba pe na afi enensem ni nyina no ye ba behwe gu otwe ye ba sesi abenko bia Abusina Simon Akwaba bio afei na do kasa video na to ade a high TVSYZ you live on so ewo Power 97.9 FM mididi enke Obrempong midi dwumadi ho chia me dia ma wonne na ene yankomo no doso sade miguso a meka no na dom kuma a o mo mra se bedwam o my press conference aba be kasa e dia fa His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama any NDC aben big push a wo mo de aba be pushy and saying so obesha o region so obesha o mpatam obesha o constituency obesha baby awa u se caterpillars ni machines ahodo egu sa kwan so a wo mo ye kwan no na wo mo de kota egu so asphalt no kama said ya wonam so a o ka enkwasa ya na asa kwanhia bia enkonkonto sabre the MPP and also the minority in parliament wo my press conference said abi sa big push project here ekosi akwanya hodo a all the 16 regions of Ghana hodo a His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC aben dia mema contract for say womo enka so no womo minority for womo ntiase womo hu say kunsun bi kura wo contract ne memu aye so sourcing ase ye wo nipa bia yetimi efre wom ne de woma hye wankona wo bra beji contract we na koye wo breko a yemmiem na fe wo mo ankom betimi abeye bia no bia de ne de beba ne ahwehwe mahu ne betimi abo oman no ne yema na di sa adwuma no yenkotie dom kuma ne mra wo mo nsem a wo maka e de afa big push no ho na fe ye ba yento adwuma de ne so ma ho.
Minority side are not opposed to the policy itself. Our concern, however, lies with the process through which the initial 50 projects have been awarded, particularly given that these projects are expected to cost the taxpayers approximately 50 billion, as indicated by the President in his 2026 SONA. In this regard, we strongly believe that government must, as a matter of urgency, should publish the full details of this contract. This should include the identities of the contractors, the specific scope of work assigned to each contractor, and the unit cost per kilometer. This will give Ghanaians the opportunity to independently assess the policy and promote transparency in infrastructure delivery. It is important to recall that these are issues that the current government spoke vehemently about whilst in opposition. There is therefore a legitimate expectation that once in government, higher standards of policy transparency will be upheld. Unfortunately, the current approach appears to mirror the very practice that were previously criticized. This does not bode well for governance and undermine public trust. Transparency remains a cornerstone of good governance. Where processes are open and information is accessible, public confidence is strengthened and unnecessary suspicion is avoided. However, when Ghanaians perceive the decision have been taken in secrecy and things were done quietly out of public eyes, it inevitably breeds suspicion, and even in situations where no wrongdoing may have occurred, because of the lack of openness, creates room for doubt and speculation.
Concern. Etiabusia dom kuma wo mra sebedwam ana wote se wo mo kasa na contract no kura ye kululu ye so sourcing ye hunumu sika no kura so eti say ene ye bebie conversation ye nyina e ba beti ase na afi ye hunu se the minority wo mo ka no wo mo nyina so bi ana the usual politicking yen say asem no the mampani ni ye no say yan fight tia big push na ye wo kwan de ama wo no a wo Ghana ni ye ma wo ni wonya kwan pa so de afa no minority 4% ye nja big push ni ye wo mo buy no wo manye anu nti wo mo de ensemble for no yenko na fe yenko hwe oru asame jamfi wono ana ye CEO edema Ghana Gold Board wono ano san ye National Communications Officer edema NDC amanyoko no na wobra na fe wo chirechiremu say during the MPP for year of rose so bekaya I think 2018-2019 there about ma mi koye video bi kra wo breku su kwan so sa time na mo de excavators 2 bi esi kwan no so na mo dwudwi so kwahwehwe mu a year of rose omo tam video no kra de kototo omo platform so ye kwan no bepem na kwan ni simu atutu breku so afa na His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama esadia ka big push wunti efi kwa benya ekopem ketase they are doing it under the big push program project and no ru Sami Jamfi Esquire no nyamfo awoda Gold Board ano wo chire mu say MPP for under year of roads almost 100% of roads are on contract no was so sourced ye ka so sourced that ye ni mobi wono wo ye contractor ye mbie mu mankrofo a wo mo betimi aye bi ma ye mfra no ye ne ono nko anhye wankona na afei ye mfa dwuma ne ma no na ne betimi anya bia ye nya ne ye nkọ yanim and before brown bebo no 100% of their road contract are wo de mine under the year of roads were so sourced eti owura Sami Jamfi akasa eri afa ho akirekiremu de ntia na womo kasa se so source na MPP for ye no 100% anu ode no do nti womo hwe na womo hwe ne ye ene ye wura John Dramani Mahama ekwan a wo ye ye hu hia se wo ye ene eso mfa so de ne niam opeso wo ye ye hwe sa ye mpanifo yimra ye ba beto adwumade nso de ama.
On the 8th of September 2016, now about 6:20 p.m., or say overpricing of contracts through the use of sole sourcing is very typical of this John Mahama NDC government. 23rd August 2016 on Twitter, or say the era of sole sourcing will come to an end. Sole sourcing, ye chem, because sole sourcing air chrono. Or say we promise to move away from a predominance of sole sourcing to tendering in procurement. And we have delivered. MPP ba omunyebi. Wama appointees warning mamunko yebi. Ono also say abine di niboshe so sourcing there omejai.
New angle bi aba MPP for the bomb by no chrono ye pa. E ade a your friend so source. Cocoa Road Projects company nkwenye ba ko mienu. A wo kan bobo mu a 83 million cedis. Tetisika no 830 billion. And Bawumia asanso diama ono ani nua company and also sole sourcing,
because if 87%, that is 175 contracts out of 266 did not go through any competitive transparent process, then it means that these guys are shortchanged us. They lie their way into power. Or say we will abort rampant sole sourcing, Bawumia. Or this sole sourcing, ye chem, the exception and not the norm, because sole sourcing they are more minor eboka. So when you want some any dibe buafo, when you want some dibe buabem.
Mr. Speaker, will minimize sole source procurement to encourage competition, competitive bidding, and enhance public transparency in the procurement processes. Single source procurement must be the rare exception rather than the norm. We must also subject government projects above a certain threshold to value for money audits. But that is government bleeding, everybody cutting their pound of flesh. That must stop. Mr. Speaker, we are bringing legislation to this House to tighten our procurement processes by banning sole source contracts, except in exceptional circumstances, except in exceptional circumstances, except in exceptional circumstances.
And indeed, Mr. Speaker, there's spurious information online that 76%
Honorable
of the
Minister, just go ahead with your
projects
statement.
were sole source is also false. Only about 44% of those projects were procured through sole sourcing. And I state on record, Mr. Speaker, we are making progress as a House and as a country to make sure that much of our procurement is done competitively. But that is why I'm saying that those who claim to have done this so-called analysis based on data we submitted to them freely didn't help the country. Because if they did due diligence, they would have known that those percentages they put outside were pure fabrications and false.
Amijan V. Esquire, a National Communications Officer, Adema Elisha Manyo Kona, one Sanye CEO, Edema Ghana Good Board, and our Teninka, na sa time in the war chilem, the entire na a year under the year of rose, na ye so sourcing. Near the contract, Edemima, a nipebia yem yemukrana, ye niema a womo. To the extent, say, the former vice president, our no say flagbearer Adema MBP Amanyo Kono, Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, one in ya, ye man contract, road contract in Yenua, ne ye so source, amounted to 83 million Ghana cedis, Titiscan 830 billion. And the Ademano, what require yema ye competitive tendering. Me was okay, way. Yan fa the yan fan ye. Entia no, ana no work can wasem. Na what chilemu, sa no a yadiana and milk womino. Gos, Sikakra ya de betos no na kukru na akwase na akwako shewe nchen na woman feska no mo de ye de omo beye na another ya me ne what they can say. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Honorable Kwame Agboja Gavins Wakasa, was say, Sir, so here did that MBP for no more big push project are air cost of 44% of it per NAS so source. 44% of it. It's a young kind now fish and on a down. Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that only 44% of all major contracts, including big push contracts awarded by ministry under President Mahama, were procured through sole sourcing. 44%. And this 44%, are Ghanaian contractors. And one more ISR sole sourcing in the most of these contracts, contractors in the world, one more and the MPP near the sa but because there was no dedicated funding for this project, woman tini anya kwano. But na contract ni da ho. I will be sika bia ni baby ana MPP for yi say sika we ni ntino ya kwaye. Ebi ni mo ho so a ye the contract ni me ma wom ati say wuntumi ane ba umia enuanom brothers na wom kwagigi sa contract no wom for certificate kra maye. Say ejuma ya ye ni ye certificate ni wuntumi for instance Cocoa road contract no akwa gibi near the sikana mano wono so ekwan no onye oyen so be ni sapete no minor boka eno ni ade a yehunu ye eti ndc abayi the road minister honorable Kwame Agboja government wo ba chire mu say out of the overall 400 contracts yahwe ba no we have also awarded over 400 contracts through open competitive tendering. We have also awarded over 400 contracts through open competitive tendering. And out of the 400 contracts, through competitive tendering, no, a move 44%. Ana sabe no womu ye no so na Ghana contractors for womu so womu wo krom a womu ye adwuma so womu ye kwan so adwuma no abanhwe no wa hwehwe enseseye a woni MPP aban ne ye no se sika ne so a na womu ne waka se dabi baby MPP for ko register kan ko du ye no yan NDC aban ye timi nye se sika ne fema anaye so no do ekwan no hwe ne tenten hwe ne kase hwe ba bi ekodu a sa sika woni MPP fo mo de musa hyase no eburu kwan ne so enti ye ndisi fo se ye be mo wato so no ya adwuma ne dia ye hwe mu a 10 kilometers no ne bua e wo se ye tuani wo baje na fe ye nsan fa adwuma ne ma na ye ne back. That is what they have done. And woman did this contract road contract no asenya me ma Ghana fo a wo mo ye contractors. And ye jino so monitor say woman be ye kwan no ana. Now me ba ye behwe during the MPP's administration year of Rose ana Asensu Boache eye Roads and Highways Minister yankohwe contractors no ekwan ya wo fa so edi ekwan no emma wom sika wo tuai pothole keke pothole sika Asensu Boache under him as Roads and Highways Minister wo tuai ni yanko enti Asensu Boache bra no wo ye Roads and Highways Minister wom se sabre big push no sikano so se ne do so say no mu yedede no yankan emfiso ne yo say pothole patching, sectional repairs and resealing of arterial roads in Oforikrom, Bantama and Subin sub-metro eno kwa keke no length near 2.30 project cost no 2,206,690,000 Ghana cedis. Potholes. Say ekwan ni da ho de da ho. Ya ye kwan na wie. Na mom potholes aba kwan num. Enti yan fili potholes ni anya resealing. Ewo Bantama, ewo Forikrom, ewo Subin, ene ne mpatam no. Asensu Boache say e cost 2,206,690,000 Ghana cedis. Ewo my Ghana mua. Asensu Boache. Potholes and reselling. Sika cost o mani. Yanto aso ni ehwe de so. Rehabilitation of selected roads in Bantama and its environs. Phase 1 Kumasi. Yanhwe de cost o my Ghana. Everybody yesu 143 billion 395 million 628.95 Ghana cedis. These people, MPP for Mokwaya Pressa, the former Roads and Highways Minister, Asensu Boachi Jinaho, the spell says Susan and him, when Timmy and Pressa Nanya, or the ranking member on roads and highways, roads and transport, Ewa Mnasebedrum. Now Asensu Boachi Jinaho. One more was your former roads and highways minister, when Timmy and share potholes and reselling. A camel my way. Just potholes and reselling. Shesika Ghana elusuye under the MPP. And ne Ghana ni be na ehunu ekwan big push a ekosoro no Ghana ni be na ehunu ye. Ewo ne mbatemu. But be a ubefa wo maimu ewo 16 regions no, almost all the 16 regions big push project account. Ye tutu akwan so. Ye yi gates, ye begusu now the kafa so anwato MPP for womode to over 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. A year potholes, a year reselling. And ne woman say there be so war big push no do. Woman tias here. Yan trust in your number 3 no. As a rehabilitation of selected roads in Bantama and its environs. Phase 2. Phase 1 no and a year 143 billion 395 million 628.95 thousand Ghana cedis. Now, yan share phase 2 no, and here costing 1 minor 162 a year 162 billion 659 million 322.50 Ghana cedis. Jesus. Ha! I was sanka 1 mayi debi ameka. Anka was a minority, one more come manutum for bare 4 years. And send no more assembly or maka because at Intengura Tare Motono Muntimi reinvent Reja at Intengura. These are records. I war as a Subachi or your Roads and Highways Minister. Sika, what did this sign you man kitty? I don't know. You're just in your 4-1. Rehabilitation of selected roads in Bantama and its environs. Phase 3. Bantama kwaya phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Asensu Boache, and why the consoles in tea. A 2 Bantama waka baby asphalt. Roads and highways now no qua, and 1 quan obedi maya, Bantama pet. And obedi maya. Young Sika Komu. 157 billion 755 million 307.09 thousand Ghana cedis. And the cost here, Bantama Krono. We are talking about billions of Ghana cedis. Billions. And one of the years I made Sikaketri dia ye de ko old Ghana cedis mo me and problem me timi mo 157 billion Ghana cedis. Ye fen ko old Ghana cedis no ebe ya he. And ne Dom Kuma, Dom Ketekete, the minuscule minority, woman said there be that. A kwanya ekosono, say His Excellency John Dramani Mama, any NDC abai, enya bere area, omahu, enti wama kofa strategy, wamo ba. Wamo defa koko na wai. Wamo defa gold na wai. Say, wamo de ababedu big push so. Maka chiro de da say MPP for. Adie bi ebeboa no man Ghana afa ntoma papia omompe na enye ne mentimi mu boso doso de akire se wo mo ya mambofo na krowei wo mo tim na sada bia yese de tumi bebo mo a ammo wo man no ene ne timamufo MPP fo no kura ni o manum o ma se huruye mo jampa wo mo tiri mu da adie be ma o man ne wo kire no adie be ma timamufo esu adie be matimamufu ani da so asa enti no muti wiase na mom wo nka se ye beto aba na ye MPP fo ye wini ni ye be matimamufu ho ato no magana so aye yie dabi sa adwene bi ma wo mutiri mu da nti aban yi ba ye men ka se de ani si be ye bia ye o ye nsom o na mom maboni ni mra ma wo munya de no na boni ni si and before train ye be press scandal dia ma ban no by force because ye huru bi da se kromu a aban ba betena so na 1 year ye anti scandal ye yɛbɛpɛ bi ama aban no yɛnso yɛbɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu ha mo de ba yɛbɛgye ne yɛbɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu akyerɛ Ghanafoɔ a saa bere wɔn ate aseɛ sɛ wɔn ne du baabi a ɛwɔ sɛ epagya yɛn ne yabrɛ yɛn ana yɛ bi a yɛn hunu bad leadership aba ama afro yɛn a efiri na de kro ya na mo bi a yɛbɛtu no ɛnyɛ sɛ ne yɛbɔ kwan pa bi de ato ama yɛn ma no yɛn bɔ kwan yɛn sase yɛn bɔ kwan pa yɛn hunu political party a adwene pa wɔ ne tiri mu a sabi sɛ ɔbɛtena so a wɔyɛ Ghana bɔne a wɔsuro ɛnyɛ MPP foɔ a wɔn bɛtumi afa na $100 million na wɔn de atu amena wɔ rate sɛ wɔn yɛ yɛfɛ ne sɛn cathedral na wɔn yɛ ɛnyɛ MPP foɔ Kenny GVG contract $178 million sika ne yɛhu ɛsoro wusu ne nam hɔ ɛnyɛ MPP foɔ PDS monfa bank insurance mbra na ba omi adane na ayɛ normal insurance no mo dia babaji Ghana for sika 7 to 8 months Ghana sika nyina PDS for di bapem ne and these people they still have mouth to talk some mo betimi ayo my Ghana yie money nwo de ne ye wa ama mo ye ginam kromu ha yɛbɛma obi ehu sɛ mo yɛ nipa bɔfoɔ ɛde mo yɛ bibi enye ye da ambi before mesi yɛma NDC 40 years continuous mo fɛ ni ɔman so mo tia ɔmo tia yɛntene wɔm wɔm tia yɛntene wɔm yɛmpa wei mo yɛ wei a yɛbɛbɔ mo gya ni yɛma MPP foɔ ntene kyerɛ baabi a wɔm pɛ baabi a wɔm deserve baabi a wɔm wɔ sɛsie ya wɔm aka ketekete sa no manum woman tino asensu bo under you look at what you did dia wudi Ghana sika ye wo bantamankwa yankeke sika wa ha mbom say ya here asensu bo ate bibia bantama phase 1 bantama phase 2 bantama phase 3 yanke the last one on the list rehabilitation of Aduatu and Bushen area eye Kumasi ewa rehabilitation was say 12 billion 11 million 284.96 thousand Ghana cedis chese sika sensu boate yusu ye ewo Kumasi ni environs ye kane nyina bomu ane aka kire wo a wo behunu ene na da ho no bomode na wo ofie fa calculator na bobo ye screenshot na hwe de sensu boate nko yusu wo Kumasi bantama phase 1 phase 2 phase 3 these are the kind of people who are talking wenum no womanya no oh dabi yanya anke yebeye ni yie yanya anke yebeye ni sei ayam pipi krono o ma bom man under the year of rose almost contract bi a wo mutimi di man ya wo manwie was so sourced almost every contract and that was what the NDC was preaching against so source your law akamrano but do you have to abuse it the rate at which na every contract every MPP war year of rose no na a year so source no it was alarming no man yi boka no mo meku o man no wo mo se sajuma no no ma kwaji percentage no ma di and as sensu boate any minority da bia me bisa MPP for say Ghana fo aye mo boni amonka ne yempa mo chawo se Ghana ya ye mo boni bia monka ye nyina ye bebu nkotodwe ayefa ne ye mu no na nka sabre for once wo mabrabom mo madwene pambra mutirim kakra mo madwene pambra na wo man no entuma pa asase efefra no one famfra go and look at social media and to quite say ya fuel isha say man munsu no o hwe MPP omo awo ha omo screenshot monitor to etona because omo asa edit no mama prices na ko high no omo dey sa Ghana for ho kire omo MPP for ani age wo de omo ni mo wiase ano no bibi papa bia ni ho wo mo ba Yanya busiano, abusiani ni we abusia. Let's make ourselves rich. Yenni ye. Agana no obes obewu efa ye ho bai. Ti yakoto aba watachimai. Nipa 8 ni mabo muti okom. Your Excellency, ya twa yo. Sanji hwemu ni nyina mini se wa bato wo. Ya twa nsi ebe hu no. Die ntia nipa 8 ye bo muti okom wo motachimai MBB. Yedi motia. Die besi wo kromu ano. Enye ye abuso yenko. Na fe yenko hwe Victory Garlic Mr. Formra. Edru omo wo ne kwan ye fa so sayare wa hodo. Ebe ye nwanwa gebire na hwe bi. Ebi a ne dey wa lucky. Na wo yare ya atena wo so aye krankwa ache no. Na do ni Victory Garlic Mr. Yen hwe mara yen to adwuma di ne so.
Enua Victory Garlic Mr. na wati ni bina tia ni se na edro ni tie. Na no pasem ne se edro wi adwuma ye titru pa ne se ebeboa ananna ne srade e wo ni padua ni muntin mu ama ohu atọ kura de dika obabi wo ho a okonfikyire a ema edro a wuhia ye Victory Garlic Mixture ebi kura ho obekọ a ewie wo ansa na ba ye Victory e na wuhia Victory no ma na busumi biara ubenya ofikyire akwa empa ho kura eno de achi a obi wo ho a ne ti ne ta adwa no obi wo ho ye adwuma kakra bia no abre na nakoma bɔ ne periperi ni nyina ye mogya entimi mfa akoma num kwa adwen mu eno ne kofa saa de ne ba odofo mesrew so wo ho na wonsem ta adwew ebia wonsa no sei ana wonam ro mu na esi fom no kura ewew ana ayetufo se de edi fom ato mpaboa mu a eya Victory na me kan fom a wonum Victory asa no ma ye bobɔ so nyina no ebegyae de oto ho anadwo a wontini na wohia Victory emframa nyankopon de ama yense ye humi wo de wo humi a na wo tie so obra eya Victory ene betimi aboa wo ye wo bi wo so a wo ho ana ne yemahye no a obi a na ne ka obi a ne hwe obi wo so na koma bɔ ne periperi ni nyina mogya ne ntimi ne afusa ne ye wo ni padua no edura wunya ye Victory Garlic Mixture de watwa bra ya bia ya na se kokodue ne nam no no ye ne basa eya Victory ena me kamfo wunya Victory bi no ma ebeboa wo se doctor de wato aduro so sani a ubetimi anom Victory na ka waduro wonna ne se waduro no na abenu ma meat abiasa no anom we so na abenu ma no anom Victory no so achi meat abiasa wo ye ne sa bibia abade kama ma se wona se tata wo ye agya ho adwuma mesraw adura me kamfo ama wa ye Victory Garlic Mixture mesraw ni ka ne bia danse a ye pese ye fa wo ma danse na tie na se wo so koto a ubenya sa danse kro no a
ntwe mi mpedwa mi ntumi ni di mi yare so mena ko be 12 years di man nu ndru kan mojedru 5 minutes de trim matutu ana se na meti TV ntumi na me hwe ne mu se moto drobi esi Victory Heba Victory Garlic Mixture ne mi mtodru sa ba modru no asa modru no eye papa ntumi ni di o mi din sa no me di afi bi no mo se di ya na afi insan afi bi no ntumi di bi afi mi di ma edrubone sa bi semi anu so no ntumi di anu so mi ba mu sa afi de anu so bi du bi no ntumi di bi afi mi hu de me nya no na ti edo no kan wo TV so a na me kutu bi ni me no edo no anopa eni awiane anwumre no ande no si afi nyampara mi no adibia ntumi di mi si afi na tola tamiko ya black masa modro no tie edoni ye na nyame hira mo
aje me pa me problem ye menstrual pains nda ne kakra me so ti me nya me menses no bosum ni ma me bre pa me brankasa me timi to tondro no na ne se man ti se yesi ye bi dro ha na makoto be bia me we timi fa ka ekọ obi kru so ekoto bi dro me timi no bi chese na Victory ni de in fact I don't know minim de wo mu de me ko tobi me tie advert no TV so sada na me sorry anwunwe na me ko toye na dana me say ade yi to me padi mu no mo ja tropa yi to me padi mu ti me twa to me phone so kula say ha adwene a enka me de betum aka ho na mo ahye te say so wa hwe ye kwa ka se na bia me ya bo hye na me no maduro bi te say efi sada na yi sa mo ja troa no to me padi mu no me nya mezes no maduro emma me hu sa emuja say like say kwot it say ni na flow kama to victory tie mintimi enja into ho to de bia na mo ba abasha mo me so abasha na eduro ne me di hu adanse
obi si me de cholesterol sa de body e na aba mi nipadua ma be dia atenase waduro ye victory garlic mixture se wunya victory ne no ma cholesterol ne se ne ne e density bia no victory be yi ni nyina afiru nipadua no odofo wo pedia to anama ne 024 2545 633 024 2545 633 and 020 129 3280 020 129 3280 a victory mkunimdie ne ade bremo.
Every human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. Natural mineral water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Abusam Simon Wakwaba Biode about TV SYZ. We are also live on PAR 97.9 FM. Inside politics, Jumedi and Ewe Yabo Modin, Nafe, and Samahodua A Treguno, Yabo Modin Nafe, the Abrel, now Sweetimi Hontia, Midi and Obrempong, the grassroots president, Okwap Mine Kania, Yankopon Shara, Mempenida, Sagusa, or Train, say young Combranian toward Jumedi Nuso, now Sweetimi and Tiasia, Ewo Jumedia, Ye Demo. My main car said the National Petroleum Authority for Edinkai Bobiaba. Say stay back, stay safe campaign. So who is a tank be out of from our area or Lord Kwansu be a bang if you are not so the one who sat off among Kwadi Army Pacho. Men ko enko so fuel. Say we kwako so fuel 1 gallon or the pana yedi siniema or the kwako so fuel ni be because a yunugu me pacho etimiti na boom na kunipa enunti no mo de sanka boyaba. So who is a tank be out of from one for the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Police Service and now say the National Petroleum Authority for Nagasano. Free woman abo mama ne e wo sa number yi so na womo de womo a womo nim de efa se tanka to ho akwan ombefa so aboban a emfa oye ne bia ma no womo de ombeba no mababa be hwe situation no but mo de na fa number we fa to se uhunu se bibi se sia na free womo ombeje so 030255038 030255038 kaina senenso se won kwa ekuta on eso mbupa ye esno petrol 1 gallon no betimi ama wabrabo every unsa ana won kwa every unsa nti utinka boya ka kire unu aka kire ma me ka kire yire ka kire wukunu ka kire wadanfo ene watanfo nyina ebi se wotan obi kura minim se enya de a wopese wonwu na ye nyina ye nhwe yie wo bra tanka atofom no ho ye to adwumade ne so de ama wa ha ene ye ne catchment area community alliance for kakafo everybody komo womo ye minus womo eye adwuma western region NGO okay womo niema bi e koso wo mujimadi omudi mu enyom de wɔn aba du yɛn nsa wɔn aba ka yɛn nsa wɔ fidie mu yɛn kɔ ne yɛn ni wɔn nkoko ni nkɔmɔ na afei ɛnɛ wɔn nkɔmɔ nti a wɔn aba pie fidie mu no wɔn mfɛn twɛn awa akɔ aba.
Yenua.
Bibi abɔkɔdeɛ.
O nyame na adum nti.
Ɛnɛ kakafoɔ mo nkɔmɔ yɛ den.
Ɛnɛ mɛmfa akɔnyɛ nchi a wo ahwɛfo.
Yes.
Ɔyɛ wɔfa ne kakafo. Yɛne nkɔmɔ yɛ tiawa. Andra yɛ ba ɔyɛ enkren.
Okay.
Yɛbɛyɛ demonstration. Demonstration yɛyɛ ne yɛkɔ ɔyɛ Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources yɛkɔ present any petition.
Okay.
From there no yɛkɔ ɔyɛ Jubilee House. Yes, been so come out or presidency no.
Okay.
And I yes be come out or Minerals Commission for.
And some men want petition.
Yes, nani is simple and short. Yes, I mean the as at 2024.
Yes.
Run up to the election. And basa be started all kodu prestia with regards to company be or prestia for an FGR. Jumedia woli dino na company no niska samenye.
Okay.
Emma community
no. Mining company.
Emma community no sorry do my yakasa by yakasa no. At the end of the day no the then government no etie community no ansam. And orivoki or lease no. Orivoki lease no na there was bama new investors na waba.
Okay.
Ntino precia fonso no na elhwe him the investors no baba no be investor bit the investors as sky Ntino Esha oye hit go face for no so no asat oye 2024 nim no won so one proposal ekwo there wo pay oye mines no ema one proposal na wo kwo no ehwe proposal ni ma was kwo there woni sika okita woni na wo be inject into the mine in here $500 million.
Okay.
Now the metam ni yanum bi no na yene treatment because extra hit go face na nkasa 2024 ni mna company no whataway.
Okay.
Whataway company no ye February 2024 intina ehwe the company a wato no for February 2024 the mine kakrakeze ba mana ontumi nya adwuma no intino
time a mubu oja o mo revoke FGR for lease no.
Yes.
Ana a company a heat go fields are 2024 February.
Yes.
One day concession in my
was a concession in my one.
Okay,
concession now was a man one. In Bino, na you feed abano more no one ye into the company or a new company or then a concession.
Okay, to my profile.
Yes. Asset kakrake as my company a wato no 2024 February. Into no Esha. Abanizema one company ni year the Sika Wikita was baba be $500 million. Every year I was in $150 million beshe jumenim.
Okay.
But the then company now no one hour deals you know. Now what they call $120 million. Or car light bill workers one to a Minerals Commission for Nankasa was one car or year offending a snake workers one senator won't treat the means of any now.
It's hit go fields by now so to me by
there the miskana into abanism on or conditions in the eba triakana and sana start operations no. And the men will say asat now hit go fields for want to me injected the miskano or year 150 million per year no. Asat
from 2024
na wadi lease in mount 13 December 2024 MPP aban lose election awolu kofie no ena abugina po or pending his signature on the lease was a man.
Wow.
In the menu like say omanu yel suffer in the hands of oye hit go face in yanum bi ne yehune there even transfer of the lease was a man hit go face there is some fishy deal under the transfer of the lease,
Okay.
Na yehwe him there. This government be no obey then obey hwehwem na wo hu nzama okoma san what the lease na there then as my head go face na sat now no government in here na the most painful aspect of it in there. In one was a lease in the man one.
Yes.
Na two guys be Edwin Podu na one lady be a wafa no save ampofo. Lady no the monk of na what the lease in the man one na work incorporated this company no.
Heat go fields.
Heat go face. As at there NDC
winning power NDC bar power MPP co-opposition no community just started who did the heat go face no ye nim heat go face for no one be adwuma no won to me abanji won free won sem no ya agitate ya be 6-7 months ye hu ya nda ye wura kwabna do for or the no abajim the company ni ya ne dia and nyam so as a community no yewo Prestia Huni Valley yet Tiganem no yewo Ghana no yenyim there as 2024 na nkasa na wale transfer lease na what lease in Lema heat go for na komre do for MPP abana nkasa le prosecute komre do for inti government all prosecute no do you think there or the asset day by then as bamawa a government opodo jail wo some of us na defend no that time we open that was bamawa sesi ade na mo hwehwe se my yen there he'd go face all the condition attached to the lease, you know. He'd go face we breaching in mine inspector impo the mine inspector
yes
what wrong crata some the minerals commission the he'd go face for man want to be yet one capacity no financial capacity into be form into no what year that may or fund all year that may write ups and all year that may find this and the minerals commission one champion yet that may your fund and mine inspector no na appointment we need for one now could baby for and again lease no was a mawa all those things is kind of already sharing to mentor workers one arrears no one provident fund one snakes our day no or day training and start operation into mentor CCI early operations no workers and loss of men will say over 400 to 600 workers are previous your fund and company no now I employ one what if you
over 400
to 600 workers we fear we your friends saying severance we must need to so mutua company atete so mutua no we mutua Ghana government answer no the company no or they trade that make one answer na company no what they leasing them entry enti nya no mainly kin na there His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Daman Mines company was we inject $1 million in your
yes
company no was started there will take steps one to equipment
that's $1 billion
yes dollars intininya so prestia for say your company be today company what the Daman mine in the once
Dr. Ibrahim
yes
engineers and planners
your company be them
okay
inti you're not deciding and the government you know he'd go face will breach most of the agreement you know inti government you know and direct the sector minister not only the needful because as a western region ni the minister no or so yani de she minister no in one way the other no or yani plight ni baby our rise do no yan so yani yes and amaboa no say ya ka sam chana ye hu do otie or a humble man yin there ye ka say otie yen obaye azia ofata wazama ninu anuma wo prese hu ni value constituency na yan so ya boa den adwen because ahwe yan underground or employing kwafo in those days over 3,000 to 4,000 underground no men will say ye the video be ascended or ye hit go face for no underground no kwan ho and will to what the surface mining and such a asset or belongs to the state na ye ahwahan e man kofu bi one selfish interest inti gains a wo benyinti na wo say underground and what will be the future of Prestia because underground since 1920 and we're building underground no extra since 1920 we're building underground no the benefit are the good people of Prestia when from the underground no treaty was started surface mining with Prestia yenya no 1% improve.
Wow.
Yes, because all the bungalows and the acquire or ye quarters are or ye Prestia team infinity team our enjoy companies eBay was started surface mining as a beautify Prestia mpono surface mining by that means the money in then if you our sell since you could Prestia ya mobile so you there Prestia bogoso mine no
yes
and a bogoso concession no Prestia concession will be too much if surface mine will be more acquainted no bogoso we don't care but Prestia we are calling on the government there one pair investors skawo sim sawaba na obaji bogo so ana Christian ina boma Christian wamba si plant wo na won kwa underground no wonja surface mine no because ekwa underground na eja surface mine na underground be too high then wa for Christian bobo more than 3,000 da metam no enti da was obi so koye galamsi sama mekanata asia but sisia na underground ni adwuma where surface mine no ye no youth no were unemployed. Christian so actually any population now is over 150,000 Christian alone. Okay. Even actually yet to about the number of voter Christian for the man or NDC abana masa Edwin wine tase because as at 2024 election NDC for we need Christian alone you almost different 20,000 against MPP. Wow.
and some other areas na baba kan intinya maelke ina ide e nda tare ambishi oye nyibro until the government ebe so ya na senim na why the need to yenjai kan
okay
because pristia so osaya oba affecting yana mbebu na ye wono pristia nso na oye ni future ye ni bebia akọ dan pristia nti ye besre pristia fa wolitie yen no won yenyi ye ne nwana sabe what consider one selfish interest mo wobenya na wedi na omana bono when the men's money then influencing because a cruise a woman nimpa crofo bakofo ekade ebezizi na ekuru na agba omboa
okay
nti yabesere obia come on board na yamboa na yam fight good fight here fight na at the end of the day on your benefit to the good people of Frisia and the catchment community.
Very well awa yebeda se minim se nsem ya wa ba kan station wey mpanifo hwe pa
inshallah
mpanifo ani simu abam mpanifo nyina wo mu nyina hwe pa because of kwan ya yefa so njuma ha minim se monsem am be kan o mbehwehwem na fe se de se na etie no wo mo de ato pepepe nti makan yenso ye bedi akiri de be ko bia no na bribia ne nyina ye di nkomo ne
yes no one boy yambo on Prisa Univali constituency no yalebre
very well
brother yalebre no so no gisa abani mpemfo na obobo
400 necessary wo mutifie wo musika kem hit go failure mo failure so mo betu etia all these people
o mu so mo yi o modi
hey
na enimazo oyeyewa MD no melba na military there asampa alien interview also wa employ nkofo 1,200 1,400 then maybe said employment no make it 1,200 1,400 no obanede na employing for 1,200 1,400 old workers no will lose one we joining in demonstration no because any company be as eba na be take over from another company and was my workers room into say pada increment of the workers had become one the old workers na engage one effort won adwuma we na deficit da wa na afro bi ma den account na oban den na old workers in tifie na SI afan kwa 1,400 and more oye on there 1,400 so you demand the onfa and whole documentation and bra na you type of employment or that one on famba ade oye no on for documentation and bra then you either obi or a labor or your amobi contract or your more nimpanasi you don't add it to your fund then or fund a job
very well Mohammed Awa a leading member at the Catchment Area Community Alliance one no more say Juma 4 Juma under the FGR one more omusika semana send no to niamenye na lease ekutam ye revoke fiom nsem na afi ye dia koma hit go fields na se wo mo no momra ma ye adwuma no na nke kai da ho ne bibiara liability ni asset nyina no ye nya de hye wonsape wo na wo take care of sabre hit go field from 2024 December ye de sa concession we show monsa no wo mo ndi sa adwuma de ne bia ye ama adwuma fo bebre na akwakotena fie kura no a ahokyere ne niema wo mu a just a near person in your managing who cried. Jomoshe said the Lands and Natural Resource Minister, Honorable Imano Amako Fiboa, and a few Minerals Commission, a penny 4 on my penny John Dramani Mahama. One was your Mumrameshe near Heat Go Field for the Omo Faso. Oh, a Western region, and Yadio Manager. I want better see. Okay, we shall have TVSYZ. We are also live on Power 97.9 FM inside politics. Jumediani Guswaya, there's some Monomamen Cow. say X natural mineral water nsuo a emu da ho krogen na afi nuane no aye ne ma ti wo pensuo na wankasa wo ne abusuafo no abrebi amano mu a say netie X natural mineral water say okọ melcom ana ene minimart bi eben wa e ba che obenya bi ne wato na afi watimi ne abusuafo makwa nom na nyani no bia ni pedua ne hia wo bra wonum nsuo no wonso santimi nkabi sɛ woyɛ yie woyɛ wedding woyɛ party wodi gimadie bia nipa hodo bebre na wɔsɛ ɔmo ba hɔ a kan na hyɛ ne so sɛ nsuo ba ko pa betimi dia serve ama obi ani atimi age ɛyɛ X natural mineral water bomode na won santimi nkabi ebia na makan ubɛpɛn dodo atu na so de agu shop mu no aton akonya no wɔ hɔ frɛ numbers yi na fe X natural mineral water fo nje so wo mo ma nsuo ni bi na nso tu na kɔtɔn na je ho fa so fagu botom wo brɛ ko a wo boa na nipa bebre nso apomudin agina brane wo brɛ a wo mo nom X natural mineral water number betimi afrɛ X natural mineral water for so 059 627 3546 059 3546 and 059 627 3547 059 627 3547 X natural mineral water or say yes simply natural ebusia mama ma power specialist eba for akwaba na afi minya kwan na menom me X natural mineral water wo mu wonuro apapa a wo mu de kutia yare wahodo nyina sabere ebetena nipa so a na ama wadwuma kroma yeden ama papa wo sori akọ adwuma ba na abusua didi a na yeden na aka wato se wotena se na yare ye kan woto dem a ebia wo na wopɛ se wopɛ se woda dem enye sade a Power Specialist Herbal Hospital one of the hospitals hepatitis B fatty liver yare wahodo bia ebetimi aka wato no omo be sakra ma me mo makwaba na afie ne omo ankasa omo nsem ani wo mo nuro kwan ye fa so sayare wo mo mfenso ye opani akwaba
yeah
na mbom tisi
yankopa do boko
minim se wo ho ode mi se okay and then so Power Specialist Herbal Hospital munuro amwo dwumadi edi Ghana for already omo hwe omo tie yanko
Mirase abusia yamwakwaba Power Time Breni Power Specialist Herbal Hospital yadin chef ya Dr. Panyia oda hospital na doctor akosia adu ayaho de mo bibia ojebre na ohwe Power Time de bes ma ka nyina ne se de enkrofo di power ho adanse TV so radio so internet ene emia hodo no wonso be ka adanse di fo no bi Power Specialist Herbal Hospital dodo na friend last stop yo kuma se one crime ena ye water cry de kuma se ofeyase ye ni Jasper Flint Station di hwani mu wo aputu ja contract kwan ne so Lake Road ena ye wo akra wo kwabenya ACP kwan sane block factory no edi enhwerem na fe takra de wo Anaje Estate Customs Road ye ne single washing be no sudi enhwerem ye numbers no ayemiensa fa mu bia ne fen ye wo fra branch na ebe no ne ama direction aba ho na wa bachi wa iresa numbers ne 0555 797878 0200383831 and 0244544422 Monday to Saturdays and your day my Sunday penny day you holidays a year juma or your branches in Tibia obia any idea be a show so a chow de anantia bre watching chinia a year so ya de we de no an do ko woman misro baby a wokwa benya yaresa baby a wokwa o ye de ne betu ase a Power Specialist Herbal Hospital Kumase and crime nafi ayeta kwade ene di kan a wo hwe Power Time what test hepatitis B positive tieniye pa yade we yade ba ko bodi ne pe edi ba ko pa ba obi adwene mu Dr. Koso Duaya any Power Specialist Herbal Hospital yade we yade ba ko bodi ne pe baby a wo kwa ayaresa wo baby a wo kwa yade ne be furu mojamu baby a yawo adansidie yawo abasobo Ghana ene amono ne kyes ampa yade ne yetumi to ase tieniye ye manage ye mbrebe no ase sese amno ka sai sa wo Power Time nese wakotena bebe mu so hepatitis B de ni aduro ye manage ma ye so de mo a me so mirika mu dwane tumika den furniture Power Specialist Hospital ansa na ya Oliver na asha sese den esai entina ho ma Oliver no ensai entina ma ya funu enhono entina ma wona asen tata wani nyina ensogo anya yellow ansa no aba da bia meka se ansa na bo so ya funu ahono no yeso Oliver na siri se ye kwam Mesro and now power time. When him say what testing hepatitis B positive to make a bra power specialist about hospital. It didn't about coupe power specialist about hospital. Kumase and crime. And I say a yetakwa the hepatitis B, the master a power. Hepatitis B, baby a befrimo janmu, ye best to us here a power specialist about hospital. Ya now take us on fin and on fin a ya. Wachika se mutu tuya de kakra na wapre ebrebia flise hit we repedu animo ya na honam hyehyew honam kekau utubiti tun sa na honam nyina twetwa udidi kitua bi na yafu na ahye na ayekutu misro hepatitis B ni signs and symptoms no ebi ano no uhu sa ni mo nyina bi wo repedu mu a tumikabra power specialist hospital obai be ye profile na confirm sampa ya de no kra wo kan ho asam e wo ho sa de wo kan no you buy your liver function test, you buy your viral load count. One customer who more do mujanimu. Unuma do no kakra ko ni mabesa am why biem. Bo hu be so tia kodu. Na number woni da so show nkwan say, baby a the right place. Na me ya atom na koye viral load ni biem na a target not detected da. Yemfa no saa. You besa ye profile na confirm sampa and one makwan de enu mojam. Power specialist about water. Ya je award bebre Ghana aniam no e chesampa. Hepatitis B no yesaya de etu ase bra nyakopa dom ayareso say you kunu say you ba say you nwe bi say you dihie bi so test positive a mane hyedam na onsu mane hyedam edem ayade na enkuno baabi a kwa ayareso baabi a hepatitis B no be furu mogya no eye power specialist Heba Hospital Kumase Enkran na afi eye takrade odi na eye fatty liver wakoye scan wako hospital yese o fatty liver yese o liver enlargement liver cirrhosis chasa brabo no ayesrade ama wani nyina aye very yellow unipadwa nyina wa ye hoya obrabo na hono aye dendenden ama oyefunu no aye kutu oyefunu no ahono aye dendenden wojo hu ba bia enye oyefunu liver no achenchene ahono a baabi esesa wokọ eye power specialist hospital nyamiadom ye de fufuro bia ba ye frɛ no aduaya liver care no aye dosonko a eboaw liver no cell liver no aye fatty cell liver no aye large ahono anasa aye denden cirrhosis ni nyina no nya bia betimi aboawo mesro bra power specialist Heba Hospital Kumase Enkran na fe aye takrade o kidney stones ana o kidney cysts since ameka se wonase nyina sha se tatai umia na atom ama severe waist pain lower back usisi hono aye wo ya ahyehyew emfa o kidneys eniagro kidney stones kidney cysts bra power specialist Heba Hospital we ya bema o Jones asema sha se eye basabasa beba bitimi kase mitimi Jones be se 10 times anajo Jones into ntimi enna ya na wa ya se I say 10 eye wo ya wochim ansa na Johnson aba wujunso wi atenka sa junso ri bia kam obi junso wi ani moja di akiri brokwa de ba ni ye moja nko a wa ma no ho kwan sa junso ma sa ya de na junso embai sa junso ne ba so so sha se for no trouser mu na aguni mpabo so na ne hunam nyina afo sent ni se ahoden aba ma junso asasa tim to se e de ba monton de ente sa symptoms so ni ma de ba na doso e betima your prostate e betima your blood that is cystitis ebia your kidneys ebetima your ureter na so urethra ebia your untreated infection entina power wo ba ye mfiti prokpa ma wadro lab papa bia wo hia se mai no ba ye di firi be hwomu so hia se ma wo yes kan wo hia se ma wo ye x-ray ye be ye bibia ansa na edro account de bia meka se yen treat just symptoms nya so ka se wa higher ya pani amodo nebom ye be make sure se be hwe ne ma hodo a betim de sa symptoms no aba ye takoda course no ye saya de no etuas ba bia wo bia fa wo ya de no ebra Mesro say prostate na how say society say your blood na how bibia how bia no e fa Jones or some ho no what the power nyamiadom ayaresa e wo ho no mo e de amount e ulcer na e how e come do a problem aduane to e ma problem ya na abofro bitime fesa ulcer wo chika sen mu ya wo ya ahyehyew obo no hanyina yo ye de kopie wa chutanya heartburns wo de na aduane ejejabo indigestion Mesro what the power nyamiadom ayaresa e wo ho e de amount ya na yefu na yakutu gastritis ulcer and signs and symptoms ne bi eno no ulcer beto ma wafon aye tantantan wo hia aduaya SK that is stomach care ekuro bia wo ya funu mu say ya duodenal ulcer say ya peptic ulcer wunya aduaya SK ni bia ye beboa na fe yatu ade no ase de amount say na aduo no etie SK no chese stomach care ɛyɛ du sonko a ekum kuro bia a ɛwɔ ɛyɛ woni padua no emu wo malaria na wo typhoid ɛyɛ yadeɛ ba ko betima teto pa typhoid ɛyɛ yadeɛ ba ko a ɛsan ten ɛyɛ yadeɛ ba ko a ɛnse sɛ odidi agro typhoid ebetimi akum typhoid tan ye betan your surgery sentini sɛ mo ne tuatua won sunu no mu a wa hwe surgery ɛna bɛba typhoid betum ma sɛ mo ko agya na so mo sɛ mo gya ɛwɔ mu typhoid betum severe constipation typhoid ko betum running stomach betum ahwie ya na obofunu bi ko atimi efe ni nyina na typhoid signs and symptoms ne bi no utimetimi apawo den na ho ayehye na obofunu na awodo wapaso nyina ya omre wan hwe abeka say malaria symptoms ne bi ho no ma ne malaria no ayade kro into obi akọ treat malaria ko hospital ya man malaria treatment me wa na lab no malaria no negative doctor ni timi ka say o man malaria treatment e bia na typhoid say malaria na say typhoid the fabra power nyame adom ye wodure betimi asawo yade etu ase e be kala mixture amene to typhoid na sakra e be kokra negative na say malaria so dia na ye ma aduaya malamis no be hili malaria na free plus bia da bia no nyame adom e be sa ama ho atimi atọ da bia wa ye mre da bia ko kete so ntimi enadwendo no kra won tene de wo so tia na ete ko hospital bia esu moja eso ate ne ma moja dura ye ma oduaya herbal tonic ye do ni nyina pure herbal hamano son ne ye ni ye broni sa no Food and Drugs Authority register jatum ade amayen jiri kajiri eye me vitality eye juba papa bema bia ni man koyo ompam fama be yintini mama moja na timi akogina ntini mu yie na bema na timi gina na so te se bema mu a ne so nya herbal mixture eye immune system support ne de ka ho dia kese ba bia awudi ama wode hwe no nyina bia kira kwan ba bia obi anyame adom ayaresa ewo ho ede amount Obo wa sabi timi bo wa sa sebe no dwonso no obo wa na wi ahra ne moja emu wakoma bo se kim o homi a ensiso homi esosoro nko a problem bia ewo wo chest ho say your heart say your lung say your de na ekoso bo modern nya edua ya kofka heba mixture be mo wakoma no ayeboko ebebo kama bibia kwaso bia ma home no entimi sisuye no ni nyina na ebekọ ama bibia koyi ede amount mo ya ware for matana for 12 months a won my problem betime free bema na betime free oba no bia bema no low sperm count bia oba no or fibroid oba no ovarian cyst saphengitis inflammation of fallopian tube ni nyina no betime asiwa wo kwan to ba behwe sane mo ni nyina se bema no na ne sperms no awo from bema na ne sperms no aye week omuntimi nsumi koshi oba no kosua no emanyi sentimi ma ni nyina ne behwe ne aboa ama power bi sanya no Ghana no munso bi atimi asomoso kompo ahye ominum ya mfasa kan ho ya nya surgery be mu odu be na ni nyina ama be ma watimi abotai oba betimi yuko mu me bibia ye kama ede amaw ya de bia tito ya de bia hawa atol tabamu na ama wani nyiwa asase so no Fabra Power Specialist Hospital say ye pampam bone na wo wanum halitosis bad breath and kankan ene me de ba no edoso we be hwe sane mu nyina wo sciatica oto ase etwo den wo ya ho hwenye yi wo da na dwena wo tene unam kra na eye problem wo de oba be ye massage kama mentinu nyina bie titi nyina na were ebeja busimi tiafom a ase ade etawo na ase bone fracture wo de dompene mobu pain your bone specialist abeka se ni adache no emfa ha obi amra ya de bia ha obi ayanka ho asam no nkyese enya ho adwuma Bra Power Specialist Hospital ye wo Kumasi won crime ena ye water cry the Kumasi ofi yase ye ni Jasper Flint Station ni hwani mu wo aputu oja contrast kwan ne so Lake Road ena ye wo Accra wo kwabenya ACP kwa so the block factory no edi enhwenem na fe takra de wo Anaji Estate Customs Road ye single washing bay no enso di hwani mu frey 0555 7978 0200 3831 and 0244 544422 Monday to Saturdays and your day my Sunday penny day maybe holidays yeah juma or your branches in it was say baby algebra na ohwe power time nyame yaduma sana sabre yanso e de apom de hon samno ebebro
Power Specialist Hospital na ati omon kanum inu omo kwan ya omo fa so a wo mo sayade wahodo a eno etoda bi ebetena ya brabo mu na eyi anigye nyina efri enso na wote nka se wo mabon ho dawura kire no wodi o ma tumi kana ko pepe ye drupa ebetimi abo aha TVS YZ we are also live on Power 97.9 FM we are live on Facebook at 4979 FM TV XYZ. Uko PM ewo YouTuber. XYZ broadcaster na afei wabo modern ya gebra hwe dwumadie bi na wode wadwenkyerɛ ato ase ye beje bra kenkan de ama wo bra dwumadie no eguso a ekoso enche bia na afei mpanifo minu a enne won beba bekan se ofidue mu na afei enkomo aka nyina no won mode nkyiremu esede fata aba wo kwan mu David Wowi Brown Esquire wono ye senior lecturer ewo ATU Accra Technical University and afei Stephen Kingsley Benier Esquire Deputy MD Edema Ghana Post penifo minu beba beka tenase enche bia na afei nkomo aka ne yedi before ye beda ne ye ho no mamenka say Safari Valley Eco Resort bia ye ho afei pa na womo esisi womo dan kama chese wo pe bia akọ holiday wo pe bia akọ vacation kakra me ba cho na wo ne abusuo na akọjeje mu ahomede a Ghana ha bia metimi de nsese me wakanfo de ama Safari Valley Eco Resort eni achire kra from Accra Ufi Accra I think about 45 minutes drive no wadu wo kwapemamu Edukroma Kwapem and Ukugwa Kwapem empatem down one or moshe. They have a serene environment, creating a mille kama, one zoo, harmless animals, whom Soriano Power Bitimin, one be credit agro, in Mianepa, baby a hojo. Would die wakoma bitimi atoyem Safari Valley Eco Resort bia na wo ye wedding wo ye party bia classic one na wa sha penifo eba na opese so mudemu a fakọ Safari Valley Eco Resort na afi wo monje wodo bi kura na won so na institution mo pe ba bi na makọ conference mo nice conference room would wa almost a service no top notch kama ye pa fa number we na frɛ wom na afenchire mu akabia no wo muntimi fensomo 0596 914 394 0596 914 394 and now visit your website no www.safarivalleyresort.com www.safarivalleyresort.com na afendi akabia wo mo fenka ho nakọ na wa be se bia me de me kire oseko no eho ye bia ya eho ye nikan ye pa busia beda na ye ho aba yenya aba pe penifo itinase na nsema aka nyina no ye bie mu de asom mo ye kwaba.
Now, let me tell you about Safari Valley Eco Resort, the first of its kind in West Africa. Upon your arrival, you are introduced to your butler, who plans your itinerary.
We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park.
So many activities, all in the same premises. Visit the gym or the stables, they have it all. At my break, I'm able to practice my putting.
We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife and how to interact with them.
They used only electric vehicles here. This creates a serene environment. I'm told it's over 1,000 acres. My cabin here sits on 2 acres with a large terrace space overlooking my private swimming pool. Now this is royalty. They have their own farms, thousands of fruit trees. I can also have my lunch here at the waterfall. Quite a beautiful place you have here.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
Stay back and stay safe. The National Petroleum Authority is cautioning the public to desist from scooping or fetching fuel from overturned fuel tankers at accident scenes. Again, do not get closer to the scene in an attempt to take videos or pictures. Inhaling the petroleum product is detrimental to your health. Worst of all, petroleum products are volatile and highly flammable, and a small spark can trigger a catastrophic explosion, causing deaths and loss of properties. Don't let a moment of desperation lead to a lifetime of regret. If you see an overturned tanker, stay back and stay safe. Call trained professionals such as the Ghana Fire Service or Ghana Police personnel to handle the scene, or reach the National Petroleum Authority's contact center on 0302 550 380. Your life is worth more than a gallon of fuel. The Save a Life campaign is from the National Petroleum Authority, NPA.
Na ede na ya obayi a oda forma so ne yafunu emunumuni.
Oh, Mr. Entry, also yare ya titi be benfie pi nanso ne yamu nyono da. Se me chew no ahodo amato a me hunu hwe a ebe ya nwanwa.
Menyi ni se what ulcer tamfo Hexa capsules any Hexa mixture yanum bom kotia ulcer no bia ma no anom. Anka ne ho ato no dadaada. Ulcer dro de eno ani Hexa capsules any Hexa mixture.
Ankom ni nkyeremu.
Ulcer ye kura eto yefunu ene ensunumu. Etuma wo yefunu ekeka wo a wogire wo ho a enyi. Ulcer etumi ema wo ye cheko ebra wadidi awie. So how eye ulcer de a compare Hexa capsules any Hexa mixture nanum bom na ho ebeto.
Pedudu etu a ko okanshi drug lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takradi AA Mensa Anafre 020-3822-855 Apefo abatan ya woma won mofra no fo ene mofra woni mfie dumienu enka ho Hexa capsules ene ne mixture
ulcer tamfo edie age edwadie nkrato yi atom.
The serene environment fits into the goal of the school, which is simply to provide excellent educational foundation for your ward's development before they commence primary education. At first glance, clearly you will see why the school is called Hebron Hills International School, as the building stands tall overlooking town. With a Montessori style, we have experienced and dedicated staff and trained teachers. Our small sizes classrooms are meant to enhance teacher-focused approach where children get one-on-one attention from the teacher. Hello there. We are open at 7:30 a.m. and school closes at 2:30 p.m. After school care is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., while early drop-off can be arranged at 6 a.m. Hebron Hills International School is located at Midye off the Nsawam Road. Locate us with GP postcode GW0688 GA West and GPS code 06884870. You can contact the school and make further inquiries on 050-876-2375 or call the office directly on 0302-918768. Email us at hebronhills.school@gmail.com. Hebron Hills International School. Excel and shine.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Pro Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. With special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Pro Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kuru Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kurubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059-555-5885 or 059-555-5995. Pro Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
Obrempong eye adwumada. Eboa eyam aduane. Eboa eyi nsa free ni peduanum. Na eboa woni pedua ma etena ho yie. Nanso wonim se niema a yedi na yenom. Timi ma brebo ye adwumaden sen pote.
Mehunda. Me brebo ye adwuma pa. Ebia se ntumi ye bibi boa me brebo.
Ani
And Nuntina what the lift it from the Moses Clinic, we have our center about herbal food supplements. What sits it, pa the barber, and my year, Jumayi.
Now, anything Juma.
Fatopa Yenu, and no panny anymore. Now a bomber berbo ye Jumayi, Sanya Baya, a bit me and yam a Jania woody, and sissy pijanimo, a you moving see.
And no, I'm a berbo can't
Ubenya Live Kid or pharmacy, herbal shops, ne supermarkets are a bell. Sawopa do doors with 12. 0244 06 8447. Live Kid, Wawu Brebo, Wawu Nipedia. Edro yi enye mapemfo e ma ema omomanofo ne mmofo a wonya mfie dumie FDA agi dwedie krato yi atum
abusia akwa babio me da se wo twen ye se ye nkomra na ye nyina ye nkoso to adwene na wo man no ye fancy bia pa hi TVSYZ. You are also live on Power 97.9 FM inside politics jumadi yesunie midini ye nka Obrempong the grassroots president okwapamai kanea se metena se na me hunu se wo so age na wo hwe me na wutie me pe na mani age because e ba ne sa no a na ye nyina na ye chekere wo man Ghana na watimi afa na ntoma pa bi na afi wode efra ye to adwumadi ne so e wa ha de ama na me boss the one capacity man commander of the angels Mugabe Mase me know they can say World Diplomatic Federation for Aman letter of invitation and they call a year Black Stars Acclamation Honorary Award Summit 2025-2026. So, and then enjoying the say it is with great pleasure that we invite Mr. Mugabe Mase to participate in the prestigious Black Star Acclamation Honorary Award Conference 2025-2026. We are delighted to inform you that you will be receiving the National Accountability and Truth Honor and also to be honored with the influential Airwave Grand Command Anna, the Commander-in-Chief of the Airwaves, a banner political shows a Mugabe Mase, the capacity man. Sabedi wamo kwako bona baso. No kura wode ye juma. Eno ni ade ba kwa abribia mepe o me boss ho. No kura obeka sem na kire wo. Edu ba bi na wo so ode blow ne pemo de den obeka si wani mu plane. Every say ye ka se ba bi a wotomfo hia no eye ho na obekọ no wayere ne ho boss wo ho. Ti Mugabe Mase no kura wode ye juma eje edi ni nsamachi pepepe ya wo hwehwe se abribia wo man Ghana da na koma so nti ubonsote ya ne ni abre said wode bia hyemi mu a woni wona me betena apɛ ubonse me jareti because ye nyina ye hwehwe se o man ne befa ne ntama pa bi de efra enkonko di abone yefo bi nsem a wo mo nko abɛhwɛ se eye wo mo ni o mabusuafo nko a na emfa sika no mo ni no mo ho ntɔwom na wo mo de wo manenye na Ghana fo dodo bebre aka no wo mo ho nkyere wom enu nti anabrebia Mugabe Mase the capacity man commander of the angels so betena sha obo sine ni abre no de no kra ye adwuma e so kasa kire se de ye kɔ nya obeka kire wo Mugabe Mase ne de no ene dey world federation for one mo bonabaso World Diplomatic Federation one mo bonabaso se wo de no kra ye adwuma na ne mu aka ho na adwene ni nim de ye ka ho na wo man igu so e fa ne ntema pa bi fra boss salute to you Mugabe Mase the capacity man commander of the 9 million angels nyankopon nhira mempreda edu so a ebekwa akwakoja akwakota wachi na afia abasebode efefefe mu hwam sei no yabomodin na yede aba XYZ broadcasting babia wo ye adwuma wo ye manager ewo power 97.9 FM na afi bibia so akoye sede ye hwehwe no enja kase pa mfen koma nana agye nyako wono na ye adamrobe amankrado adamrobe akuapem amankrado na agye nyako ohene nyankopon wonka ho na wonye okese na afi niema hodo a pese wonye mfemwa adamrobefo na ebi enka ɛyɛ okwapɛman no ne nyinaa no yɛhwɛ anim sɛ ɛnneɛma bɛkɔ yɛ okwapɛman mu me wɔhene biara wɔbɔ mmɔden na ɛsi ne nan so sɛ wɔbɛboa no okwapɛman afa ne ntoma pa bi afira ɛda makoma so abere biara no meba mu pɛ ɛwɔ sɛ menkyia a ɔnam mmɔdin na afei ewiase nyinaa hunu sɛ ampa wɔhempɔn kɛseɛ bi ɛwɔ okwapɛman mu a wɔno nso wɔde ne deɛ ɛbata ho sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ no okwapɛman bɛfa ne ntoma pa bia nti nana gye nyaako adamorobɛ amankrado ɛnka Obrempong wɔde hyɛ mekyia oyie paa na afei makyia ɔdɛɛfoɔ ɔten krankye wɔno ana ɔyɛ brekusu manhene wɔno ana ɔsan yɛ okwapɛman nyinaa twafo hene ɔdɛɛfoɔ nyankopɔn ɔnhyira na ɔnyɛ ɔkɛseɛ na ɔnka wo ho ne mmɔden bɔ a wogu so a wobɔ ɛde mu okwapɛman menim sɛ brekusu kwan yi ɛyɛ wo mpaeɛ bɔ a wabɔ akyɛ menim nkɔmɔ a mene mmienu adi afa ho ɛne deɛ ɔdɛɛfoɔ ɛba so ɛbɛyɛ kakra brekusu kwabenya ekoka kitase His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama big push odi aba no okwapema yenso ya tede nti brekusu kwan ye ba beye ti ye be kwa kra nya da bia na ye be fa madina na traffic akwoche ya bre da bi se ye du kitase a ye betimi aba wure ma be si kwabenya na ye si poku ase interchange ne so hwim kran ye ne ye nie ye wi ana ye san kofie boko to therefore tin kran nyankopon hia ana fe na apia enti na apia enti tutuma hene ode hye enka Obrempong ohene michia oyie pa nyankopon hia na onye okese na wonfa hoden yese ne fata mfendom yenye happy birthday we free water na fe ye nto adwumade no so a wonderful happy birthday going out to Daniel Buama Duku nyankopon won hia na onye okese wo abrabo pa wa bo impact wanya wa foforo so na oguso wonhyira no onye okese Mr. Daniel Buama Duku, a wonderful happy birthday going out to you nyankopon hyira na wonye okese abusa ye toji media no so di ama wa ha na fi bibi biara etim aye kama okay oh wow Honorable Anthony Mensa Nukpenu, a wonderful happy birthday going out to you nyankopon hyira na onye okese ene den ye to aba no papa ibo wura ha ho opopo saa na se da bia adu ne de me se yaba power eti Anthony Nukpenu nyankopon hyira na onye okese wonka ho adwene po bia mu nyina mo wo mo de boa NDC abanyi se ebe serve the masses, the good people of Ghana na fe ahoto anigye sika brabo pa ye hwe o man Ghana ye nsaka no Anthony Nukpenu nyankopon hyira na onye okese bio SYZ fo nyina yesi nyankopon enhyira abusan to adwumade no so e de amount eye Stephen Kingsley Benier Esquire deputy MD e de Ghana Post watena se yen hyen komodie na se na fe yen to aso lawyer akwaba
ya menu ya
bi abokode
already adome ho ye
e de nyankopon se ahode wo ho ade achi yen die na yaba betena ha die na che sa ahode wo ho nyankopon san de akwaja na ba se yen to aso ne yen som oman no nti yegu so me hu na ache
me ho
okay
yes kaka
yo na Ghana Post say
nyame adom Ghana Post boko
okay
yes say yegu so and first no passport ho ayede and zia passport no we are now
easy
zia the 24 hour service aba nti se bibi nti na also di dwumade bi our passport na uni bi na pesa we ya within 24 hours no we are at the bro we are yes nti
the chip embedded one na many abre so me passport no bepe me na visas mi no pe ne bom enyanye maye na eme eti penny for mama me visas why mama me American visas me be say ye mantem because chip embedded na modi aba no fedodo
oh yes and
looking at the features
one thing is uni bi I crowd ones we drew advanced countries we say obi ade ne de ya na okom say ofa nyina hansa because mo de no need this omo hwe omo wi hansa na ya mama
last month me too kind some passport na me ye be 2-3 years ni na many months saka crowd passport no we do airport obi a me wure me wi a me ba me krom papa your passport control enhwe na o ma mi ntwam a ohwe picture no ahemanim ohwe picture no ahemanim ohwe picture also do you have other ID cards? Me say yes me Ghana card, me driver's license, me say okay, take your passport. You know what I'm saying? Now how you do? Me passport in the moon, man. Say me my chip embedded Nibia.
Oh yes, with me. With my.
Oh okay.
With my.
Because me here chip embedded Nibi.
Yeah, say first process.
Come up. Now no me to me nyame current picture the boom. Now me took my man you me try.
Yes, here.
Okay, lawyer.
Say na and then so you dey kase you and General Assembly Company Excellency Mama I'm say and I'm sure you dey na say and we hear an amount to our tour and brave atwa na kwasibro ni fa akwambone so eso abi before do mu nyina akwamo ne koye nkrutu dwuma de bo akekere omoman and when he has some company wa kudro wani so ade hu kase so company mahama asori agina say hu be hia say what say nyam patasika bi de boa and sada na wa ye no yade a nchirima remfida has been written in the good books of this country. Jidi say was say kan ho asem na etime boa because say several issues here a big push sebi o say baby a nyankopon eye na de pa no no bon samson na mchen person de osanwe agum sa na akwa e be kiremu amomo hu na fo hu sebi djuma pa aban big push say no baby abefa bia akwa no egusu gidigidi
okay
ekoso
very well
and afin so ye be kokuma ase
ye kokuma ase ye fi akra ye kwani
yes
the Ashanti regional minister in the person of Dr. Honorable Frank Amoakohene wono na wo asantememu niema abrantie wo ye as regional minister no anodeni amebi masha se bi self position especially Dr. Frank Amoakohene na obi eboni din ana Dr. Frank Amoakohene edin ya na waye Dr. Frank Amoakohene ababe kasa eniema waye e wa asantememu yen hwe ne mra na afi yen to adwumadi ne so
so name na me share was say ubetna so 8 years no enhwe Ashanti region ubenya 8 good years one kasa wo regional minister you be say on live television say almost projects 5 o say Auntie Rebecca the aka no come na the office in chair as me no deny the Mahama project for Ashanti region Mr. Free Mahama wana kejetia sewua afari Kumawu water project, Kumawu hospital, Konongo hospital, Bekwai, Fomena, Afrancho, Atonzu market, Asawasi market, Obuasi market, Mampo market, Bagaf Community Senior High School, New Dubiasi Community Senior High School, Dobonso Community Senior High School, Ofenso Community Senior High School, Community Senior High School, Baku. Just say, off head no, we cry project that wasn't clear. It freeze over it. So between bobo. Moment the head got now. Projects 5 want to be crambo. Oh yeah, no one school feed the man. On no money, you know. Just say, Obia in the Bahunti mail, Capia Nabua. Said the money to Modiano Honos, and I'm so of wedding to me. Okay. It's the moment about this. Some of the man who see me home. What do I see me one? Mono Mundian air tayo. Airtie, I would done a hobby come. Hey, what? Yeah, Robinson. For the very first time, College of Health. Maybe a doctor, and I'm very happy about that. College of Health, and then nursing training per se. Allied health training because we nursing training because we physiotherapy, radiotherapy, your friend is say respiratory therapy, medical laboratory sciences, occupational therapy. Nimina because we yes, your friend say a drop on so. Obacha Patna, a multi-purpose civet, just in the space of 1 year. Every district to be a 24-hour economy market. Offenso North, Offenso South, Efidako Abre North, Efidako Abre South, Swami. Afuano North, Afuano Southeast, Afuano Southwest, Etumam Punia, Etumam Obedan North, Etumam Obedan South. Ehonina Yebio, Adansi North, Adansi South, Obuasi East, Obuasi West, from Amansia West, Amansia South, Amansia Central, Ehonina Yebio, Asante Achim Central, Asante Achim North, Asante Achim South. bosome frɛ ho ɛho nyinaa yɛbio ho adansi asokwa baabi a ofori krom somtwe asokwa asokɔre mampɔn keye media ne yɛde kurofo no tafo swame kwabri east dwaben efidase which is actually east agona which is actually south mampɔn enjase chedumase kumawu all the 43 districts in yɛyɛ markets ɛwɔ hɔ sɛdeɛ mede ka challenge mo baako no a ne na musu no mede wo mo na musu no Ashanti region yenim sɛ edwadie yɛ adeɛ da yɛ maame no makoma so pa number 1 edwadie market sama bobo so mu ba 8 years nyina mo nkyerɛ yɛ market baako pɛ si o baako pɛ si ya mo mutimi si yɛ ɛwɔ Ashanti region ma yɛwe and so beyond Kejetia beyond Asokoye Mampong Atonsu Tafo beyond Obuasi Mampong Afrancho ye buy 24-hour economy markets no our president go catch short ewo Bono region ye si mako 43 in Ashanti region e dey agree ne Moso ya adidi atam nko na matwe ni mu robots no ana adidi atam wodi matam a me dem say 38 and the number me kona me ko bompa ya 38. These are the practical things I have to share. I development the for country no.
Honorable Dr. Frank Amwakohene, Ashanti Regional Minister, and all responded to the opposition MPP, the former Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osai Mensah, and Sampine. Oh, koye ejuma Mayanka. Now we know koye mayor. Now woman yeshi wa Ashanti Region. Abi boy, woman chada nye bibi papa biya. 8 years. I don't know what kano and grow would do a wabu bosso. Enyuma would do a womo yen or market a womu si. Health centers a would do a womo bomodi ama abakuma said beya. One betimenya quality health care. Enti MPP for womodi o manu esi ni so ana Dr. Frank Amwako yin kronya hwe over baby a no we bondi no say modi manu si si onye yi because one no there wabadi ama the people of Ashanti region Asante for no baby a wo command as regional minister no say wo beye ne me betimi aboa wom na de etwa MPP for nsum the opposition the etwa mo nsum mu kura aye recently Ashanti first a eba so ewo aye Kumasi ana ewa Asantememu na Dr. Frank Amwakohene we school for ewa Asantememu a mo ye visual art ana wako forward na fe asokwa flyover no wo makoye this beautiful art ediagu hu nyina ankrofo ahase omo bo Dr. Baso say watimi edisani so ade hu aba 8 years under the MPP won adwene we atimi ama omitrim na busia de ama yeka ati nwasem bi okura ne se ene da ya me ne wo de ka sei sa beautiful paintings here Dr. Frank Amwakohene ade anim na wo ma ye no ade betia enkrofo de paint akwakọ sei art ni bebre hwe de wo de paint wo mu a wo sei dabi yeah, sa flyover na so kwa flyover no kura no president Gufo na ye nti ni se omo draw president Mahama kura de to ho Jesus Christ of Nazareth. These are the kind of people we are dealing with, and every time be an ebani say ya na me kasa no ano ya ye den enye se bibia o but see any sankrofo say ya adwene we wo mitiri tena krom enye ye at the fair Dr. Frank Amwakohene ayewa asokwa flyover. Now woman ba be di Ashanti first no enye MPP for nti MPP for bi ewo Ashanti regional wo ma adwene mu emere akofa paint adi paint ade ne sai no man by betina so 8 good years efie wotwe na flyover we ho adwene ne nyansa na ma nyo be na ba kire mo fra Dr. Frank Amwako ana sukonoma ana akola ketekete wono no all play mu sa adwene we wanu no wode san nyansa ne ade fefe we eba yanga osatu ana da hono one president John Dramani Mahama omo drodro ya santoa omo drodro niema e wo man no ma wo Asantememu and then Kebeda who said this all our students I want more Asante region she beautiful art and mufra we ya yet $25 million and my jankroma I could for the bar say one friend draw akwaja interchange ase $25 million students were here ewa Ashanti region and mo feel say nyamo party na wo so enti ye be say no ye be kan nyama bi agu hufi ana aden kra no ma draw mahama animu di ato ho mo kuma bete nyamo na mo ba kire o ni enkoso wo krom ha ambibifo ma bi sa mo da bia say ade na Ghana ayemu ye nyina ye mu nkotodwa na ye na fom ni ye mpa mo chawo eti sa de fefei ti mo di ade anyam fe ade anyam fe wo ho wo ma ya de wo ya hwe se de asokwa flyover we wa ye fe udu wa te wo sai wa sori anajo akofa paint ade say no de nyankopon be ye mo na ye mo 2024 no mama ma David Worry Brown ono Esquire David Worry Brown Esquire lawyer papa or say senior lecturer ewo eye Accra Technical University lawyer kwaba and then lawyers for nkwa na meni ombe di ntino wa oni mo case bi abra yen settle no have gone
meni atisai
yankopon da Roma na
ibi aboko
yankopon
na mamenka say ne man share me fugu enye say boapayo and me court. Okay. After court me a lot of legal near me binti mantimi answer one is fugu ni de manage hon pa me wo 17 pieces of fugu.
Oh wow,
baku 17.
Hey, any idea of
baku 17.
That's nice.
Yes. Now menia.
Yes.
Shy. Oh, yet your mind mo near my be cause I am ya eh? No. Hey. Ade ayayen fefefe se na obi e di paint e di say no. Anyway, you see, men surprise. Obi a almost say party bi a ni leaders of what parliament so mu kokoma koko akwa ekwafo omo a naked demonstration.
Yes.
Obi a otimi kasa sa no. Also udwin say sebi ebi a nyema bi e to sin owo omo adwen.
MPP is a busy democracy. Yeah.
What paint is I ya say? Mishana Minyaji, SHS4.
Yeah.
I also a bomber, and yes, a professional painters. Students are. Omotimia yes, I'm school class. No mutimia de way. I was a bomber basso.
Yes.
I am quite a faswa. Ye bet momu, ye bet showing crying. I'm a matimia ye a day I na manaya more professional. Musaino. These are the type of people. You see, so I'm not surprised that they overthrew Nkrumah. I'm ganking up with CIA to Nkrumah. If you are there, so some crofo when Muna 8 years ago, your mom mutna swa, and no thing I'm mutimi we car, and then can furata pogana say on peso beba. Minia, before me Jones meeting chia.
Yes.
Emma Ashefoni etiefo.
Nice.
Na Michael. Pinto shama and yes. Okada driver bi adeni moto etwimi car me bufu mi see honorable okacha nipa ne say these are future MP for Ashama who the moto etwimi pa on the wrong side of car ye ana me boys na me nizam kwafo ni Ashama sa
wow
and the boys no mo buy ya mo juju makoma ese mi fan channel men ko mi chio mu nyina ewo motorway roundabout total filling station ewo China Mall side o mi chio mu nyina Ashama for mi chiamo eni juma pa mo ye abutra mutimi e ka mi se mi njana manenko mi jaya mi ko ye mi chiacha mo na me nia sha say na wusi ye kan big push won asem ana ye beba ho
we nu ho ye na unso wura ha na was PD wo
na because ade a wo di kire me sese ano me dwindwen ho nin somewhere that is why and nothing now omo behavior of parliament sir no seriously when you say Obika say about 99% of human beings we are all mad but madness levels what I say Once I wish me before me before, ebia ordinarily as some I say mekano. Na maka what you say it's a part of madness. So I'm mad at you. Levels war. And no being so need any say wa boda mama otimiko je akoko funa obola so a onu a worry. And no being so ni madness and say oko parliamenta because of a minority leader ni minority side no. Because asem nkwa no amoka. E bi madness no. And nkofo bi nso a me gidi some MPP for. Because obi biara obeka some person who Mahama picture.
Yes.
Ewo sir interchanging would be an MPP.
Sure, definitely.
Because ordinary Ghanaian CPP ni PNC ni Afafranto ana yes the base can Japan the base ana NDC no ko esa dey MPP ni
definitely
because Mpuntu Juma the young man sir Dr. Amwakuni Ediba Asante Radio no dwi ho mu ntiase na bofrey sabiti say obi information bi ayete here Alex say nkrofo plan say almost say young man we ya fan who planner and you go say the brain Asante no yentimi nsoa. So these are some of the things they are doing. Shame on them. Shame. Mu amudi paint. Echo says our paintings way. We see shame on them. Nampa me boni say next time they should be caught and dealt with. Why not? Destruction to public property.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
And then I and dealing with them. Now me a judge now is uncle for Bremia home. Me juma me. Me mom we pra the whole of Kumasi. They will hard labor may describe it hard labor. Gattes ne what sir ombe chichi gattes no pra the whole of Kumasi. I'm a next time on almost in a order. Now some funad also do. And since I have for some issue. And I think if sir MPP if there are some shame they have some left in them now, they should condemn such acts and call on people who are doing this to stop. This is not how we build a nation. When somebody is making the nation progress, because that will take the wind out of your sail, we should destroy it. It doesn't make sense. I am be $25 million. Want me and find your shame. I want to make the bones, nobody can go chief former governor Bika. Want is awesome nada. Oh, Mr. May his soul rest in peace. Say, ude infantua. Nkwasa some no adoso. So this thing I condemn on certain terms.
I was so too from fan hokra and just
yes.
O say to Asante dear koso ewo asokwa interchange na say na after the regional minister Dr. Frank Amwakohene ama mofra wo mo school wa Asante memu visual student omu we impo hwa de for my year
showcasing their talent, their skills.
Ewo asokwa interchange I fly over na say na ade betia enkrofo say we picture da ho ntino yen pe wa Asante memu nti ye best say me
for wasam no so me stress say ote kokoso na
yes
ono ote kokoso no 2482
yes
so bet me anya vigilante group be crew and monitor sa we why e be chill no emrani wo be die but I also want to encourage all other regional ministers municipal districts metropolitan chief executives they should emulate this good example Dr. Amakohene, the Ashanti regional minister. Why no? So that interchanges are now those near maybe I bet me a penti amana fair. Gardens I bet me ayen ye yen to twasona and bois on my Ghana.
I have no proposal biwa after the program. I am sending the only lawyer in Anamache. In 2021, if you cooperate,
okay.
And she said, "What share if you are immense?" A copy pediatric lodge anymore. So side and middle barriers. Na me year proposal 2021. Na Obiam one year MP war Equiapem South. Anna Frank Edu.
Obiam former deputy sports minister.
Local government.
Local government.
Yes. Yes.
Deputy.
Yes.
Local government.
And I took it to the Ekrapim South Assembly. I the Kokotre MC ano Frank Edu. Say when na maye. Entinka Okwapeman ye kura ye the 17 principal towns in the tea. Enti ye beye art every a year baby na tobu to no I mean tobu to from the side barrier hono and the middle barrier so no up to Pediasa Lodge ho. Na anka people no so say no ye betimi kura the metal we be abobo wa e betimi aye adverta e hono betimi generate revenue di ama assembly no. And of course nan crofo be kura ye advert or what did I wo muntia because this contract ne to me ho so catch assembly ni say one more ye advert wo muntia ni na ye beji diska no me tro ho we nyina to ho anka me de kodru up last every weekend bia no crofo ko jogging omo nanti exercise so a bit to drink a bit to nsuo na wo ma jato baby na edede wuram wo ho but nka me yes me drew up plus wo say ni e ba be ye wo hanom say nti mbetimi aboan ya mo ma ye dustbins empensio na fe ye ne ye garbage collectors ni bi nso adi nkoma abibia no komo fa wa omo betimi yi proposal no wa ha ye wi am de be 2021 and MPP ana me call ye ma me ho say okay the hu hi a wo mo ye say minjeje krofo a wo mo ye advert ni sika mfa mo percentage a wo mo kan kro ma fa ma mbe pem de
unim ni
wo mo kakra ti a
unim ni ti o ma mpene no unim ni ti a
David
enka wo sha se ka tro mo say
yes
me ma mo no ko fio and come pene because as someone who can is the same as a Ghanaian
yes
woman oko Canada
yes
obaya onya proposal from oil rigs Canada some here Ghanaians about 200 people
yes
omo Canada ombe ye juma e betu amoka person signing memorandum of understanding so that the government will facilitate this way say creating job abroad for Ghanaians
yes
sa minister na opinion up oba na dey ade be fa no so say one to me saska we enya dey a ebeba so omo decide the same thing Kenya near Uganda side and the people are there working that is the theory Akufo
no near
these are the people we are dealing with and the Ghana they be Ghana
sadio we ko so omo di proposal ni to no mo taye by this time anka ebia efia yi mensa kopim pediase wo crank ya commercialize wo
anka fine
omo edi be ye movie
exactly
omo edi be twa video clips omo edi be ye
Hollywood ni ekeka
ya commercialize wo the pencrofogu wa say ube say lane mu ebi fufu anyema say wo ho basa
se ho cry fa obinum nso point me and because
and no
problem no ho say ho no
you provide that's been entire no ube no bottle water wie ube no drink wie wo bra wo ko jogging na that's been one
man boy for nyesa na e ka no
man boy for 2021 and the MPP let me now wo proposal bibia wa na kan you have the memo no mahwe how beautiful entiki ye project all the 17 towns e wo kwapeman e wo the side and middle barriers e wo ho we are just a plan no wa
who can say we a political party be we MPP omo dey say MPP for ground no dey we discrimination
and back people the proposal that them so I'm just hoping honorable Paul Osan Ofe ono no ye NCO
Safa command
me na di ho commodity that enti osememra na fe ye nye sade no okwapeman entrance
enye no kra mu wie kra beautiful ye be ye sa mountains now from yet me ye we are painting design so beautiful
just a plan na wo honest but MPP for dum no lawyer we have to see Dr. Frank Amuako hine ate ekoso yi a wo ma hyase a wo mo say ni den na wo kan
ya da se ma yanchi ahefo nyina yanchi a Ghana fo nso na Power FM TVS wise mo boy adwuma
thank you
bia meka mre bia atwam na upompo beti baabi na mo tumfutu agwa ma ba ne no
say ya jiba bia
yanka me be body bi ba ya bubo say say kwa she mo mabio
ya me nshamo pa
o ze na kokobo mo no
chia party mpani fo nyina national chairman of Ashanti region say thank you to
okay
who say wa to aso afin so ma me nchia me boss Ghana Post MD Madam Rita Sra.
Nice one.
Unfortunately, I'm say no of a free mo.
Oh.
I may adoma memory da a yeni basso ewo Asante Bekwai.
Oh, okay.
Enti Opani Jonathan Kofi Safo. Udu Bekwai de obi afra no ofa Kofi.
Ofa Kofi.
Nyame bo
Asante Bekwai.
Asante Bekwai.
Me de ya.
Me de ya.
Okay.
Me am boss. I was me kwata.
No.
Say any si una so.
Oye ma pa. Me shan nti ya ma oni abusua ni nyina ya akọ.
Nice one.
Minya de ekoso okumasi enye me nwanwa. If you say the edikan MPP for Yamanyuku Bia, or my dream, you know, and say, Omuni Gidi or Mabunum. The edikan. Omuni Gidi. You
don't believe in the youth.
Now, replicate Yamo.
Yes.
Smoke a refi.
Oh, yeah. Mutiko to
Sanity. And would they
Mabunum.
President Kufo by any ministers, they're not, or you to cry was around 50 years. You can check it. What I say? Omuni Gidi or you too. And the one 2009 Professor Mills by I will near GDA or Mabrum Biti say Samokuja Tabla Mone or Maniboa Mamo every free anchor Muntaka Ajenim Boatim.
Yes,
or do mobile not almost what was some Urefi? Yeah, that was their statement. US Konya Jumata Team B or what jet me up for Team what was some that is their thinking. If you President Mahama Baya, Sasha appointment, Mabrumbi Munso, or her or Mujuma a more consideration, almost as I can. Typical example, I sent to Richard.
Yeah.
I'm a queen.
Mose.
Fantastic regional minister.
Yes.
So, yes, me, I'm a boss, Sammy Jenfimo. I mean, Obi can't say, I don't know, come as a 4J scholars as a 4J or then. So, share. I didn't war more 3 months. O my dream is all your babu now. Okay, and penny for now. And I was almost the court. Now, or buy or proven the critics wrong from day one. One moment penny so at the Ashanti region.
Yes,
and your buffo and yan tokwa and yet the deal. But Tony Bois or some the man for. And unti obaye wa transia hu say wono marketing kitibu o ha ebe hia bu asantemam awa hyasia oye.
Yes,
now we enye ordinary say we be transia adwene say ye ba be chef akese wa asantemam ye hu say nkran omampani de maneba millions of dollars.
Yes,
amomo drodroy ye won kwara be brain so a secondary school ma former mampani na nado dankwa kwaku boga awo de maneba enti yehu kofo brain so visual art omo etimi ye no man enti adentina ye nyusu omo.
Yes,
me am school am quick supercars kuma say anglican ye ka ho ye ne draw mampani no.
Oh wow,
so I just supercars. Yes, ye ka ho omo bodum omo ye cars. Yes, and okọ piki omo nyina ba say obi amekire no bobre yankopon do omo so buy. In fact omo a kire say indeed omo school omo yade efe and make man say efe crack sene they pay millions of dollars. Of course, because omo no den omo dey kike na total we dey omo hwa draw.
Yeah,
and so nice. And unti munyama ba obi e bo na ba so mo titro trom they say that is the talk of the town.
Yes,
unti den was here enko say em because adentina akwara ketwa obedi en munyam na ama and this ya kono more the Ashanti region. Na enye nna MPP ada almost so de say omo ye mamboyefo kuma time ye ji independent ora fi de omo ye they went far say omo ka say there be Ghana kra no enu ba bia was ye ji independent ye wi amoso mo ka ho bi Emma Jebi Dankwa Lusu elections only teacher need 9 that time Jebi Dankwa was a renowned lawyer. Achimo Buakwa, he lost to a teacher who contested on the ticket of CPP. He lost the elections miserably. South Subamponi we how and mom the 2 betia na one chrome. And until now so mo pe twa for hene e de patano. What is it? Yes, of course. Now, say na fe wo kwa oma ona nim wapem okona chizo enye ne bo akonya bi man e de man wo And then the highest achievement that he was Trafficking. Yes. In the history of this country now, I'm born in the post bank. Election ban with when they were Ghana. They should let us know. Kwame Nkrumah was in prison. He contested Accra Central with Jacob Chibele and Papa, former MPP chairman.
Yes.
Nkrumah
and he won.
He won convincingly. Almost 99%.
Wow.
On a money in not that prison. And to Ghana for a Musuma, ya almost me almost almost a son. I almost almost a son, almost okay, almost a son the other in your way, almost back, no more Sunday, almost to Bandana for 2024 and what's your pay by. And into the air can say, Yan Tnassi, Emo Monsoon Sell Mano. And it's what they look at the fair near no my papa bang so the baban when piasso the man I juma and unti na young one was a baby at chum and ma woo buy near see and tears MPP by any try. She do baby up our no a dry necessary. National security need police now there mommy and tenor. These people can do anything. And no one so much as uncle for me for cut. What happened?
Was spinning
so into one they are so desperate for power. Ghana for trouble see tiam. Afin krana edim fiese ni. Mo se chenchina masha ase yi fragbera. Is a mokwan bo se kwa biaso no. I was say 2028. Na yatem didi ma Ghana for. So na say ase na mo so mo nya boni bia. Nti ko se dika mo sha ase kra kokko plaka na for chew. And into regional minister Ashanti region fan Nancy form. When you're ding, I mean, no there are a lot of strategies I did with Uncle for you. And no more imagine say Ashanti region over 2024 elections are more than a party and this now. I over a Juma a banner year or
33%.
And Muntino Munim say, or Mankasaka. Uncle for Brabeka say, regional minister no good party no Ashanti region. And you are not cry on any life here because. Yes, some people they can take your life. Sure. They go for where you no more delay. No, very careful.
President Crafers.
Referee. Kulungugu bombing. You can go and read Archie versus the state. Oma ye chiwo munyina no munya cancel. Ametewi was omo boni tu ode no hoji. Obi a no fi Asante region o ye me fan say UP ayi omo tradition. What is a GCPPI babesine one of them. Ono an engineer kulungugu bombing. Nyen on engineer. And when from teaching, they have exhibited these signs. I be seen there. The young one was say at the fair or be a tremor or babaso. Ghana near so you Ghana, the bed say, me for painting concern because young people in the year because you're born and penny Mahama baso because you're born regional minister be a baso. Ah, and you're no champagne and I say, and yes, more semensa. That is the whole idea. Say at the pub be a bar. I was say your MPP.
Yep. And
yes, yes, no. And until this time, no, you must face them boot for boot. Good. Because omo young kofua, you know much children, and you omo dia at the Peruvian where was ever. And Ghana for your kind, and clearly, almost Subansu dead Jama, Ubia, and who will beat this will be a leader in parliament. It because say a buying a fako kwa pusika dia koto eluprint another pray or no say ye vetting CEO for Petroleum Commission abaho abeka set okay chinchina me partner
no so say silly
we MP
na nyo no na say
sabi you MP a MP kwa wudi ye ni kwan ye ne yamu ye na ho ye ne yamu ye na ona we MP o mampani a yato aba ama no over kwame victory. What did I know did not them? So, all crowd here and Pinufisa, we be bintino, will be a duatem, I want to see a respect. Na president, a Ghana phone in a trap, Baman, could not cook a foam. We grow us a chino charge. Spread of force in last month.
Yeah.
And our creative fear and panic
says also they also a patch. So I'm doing we
a chopa. Now Tracy a bopoko did the atema also a patch.
Can hear crowd. So
and to me, the air can and say, no man can see about be push I can once him. And never be out on Namaquine.
Yes.
Yeah. Ama Ghana, Sebi, or man who said you need city, a shas here 2016. Yanum by 8 years. hwɛ kumasi kwan hwɛ amasama kwan aban gidigidi akofo adokɔ so mo jagu hɔ na ka anko ka ama it took omampani mama ɔno asi from call and America say what is the state of the road nice FM pokeke mo wi amosan nyemo ni wo ma be ka say so source mo be ka say Ghana ni na no ya kwan ama no nam so na no ni interest ni say was it so source or competitive bid and answer then is that really the interest everywhere and now say say there's value for money already say baby under MPP president Akufo-Addo ko jina kaso interchange ya Bluetooth figure okay I'm a dantam ranking member on Rose and Highway honorable Duomi former MP for Ajisho ebete on one flag by to say enye no kre na sa kwan no ya inflate okay and I'm so no who make it also promise so that is MPP
okay
enti nyame adomo ha
okay
first now mo kan unya ba bi nkoyi one ben na nyame adomo ha
very well
enti o mo kan ya so ya ba be kirem enu nti amako hine ta wachi more I was a more eba
very well
if I kwanya we so said the can other regional ministers so they should do more yes o come me kroma western north me regional minister ono so ahia ase o say up to date some of the schools kran kunya on better so eden and wa hia ase a o tu sa na mo no omo eni nkonwa mo oboboa amanfo bi wo mo nsema omo providing nkonwa ne ade wo hwe aban nkofo wayi wo mo a ahombrase a omo do ye adwuma o ye kandifo a o ye sonfo anya regional minister adwadifo ko ho a se mo akani me ntia mo ya mabobom no didu o mato ne mawo adwadifo ma mo to no gina so we ya ngwase we edu bi ne yankofa amra
that's Stephen Kingsley Benier Esquire deputy MD Edema Ghana Post na abusia aniji sembi abasesia lawyer on so by now work his excellency the president John Dramani Mahama na kwantu a watu di akọ UN na wodi nkomodi afa kwan abrofo fa so na wo mo be fa bibifo ayakayaka de nkrutu djuma a sabre o demand say was yakatuo bi ba na sa wo yawo bebira abibifo fam no ya dejeji yakoma na ewie ya the UN plenary to commemorate the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. Na vote in akoso Ghana wini wow. Ghana winning. Yes. 123 votes in favor. Against 3 abstention 52. Ghana winning. Africa winning. Ghana winning. Africa winning. Eti Nyankopon ye dan ase. His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama. Bema na adwene mabɔ bill. Bema wonim ne yede ma wo man no.
Wasaye bio.
Yes, wasaye na ade ne bio. Wasaye na ade ne bio. It is sabre de Ghana, Africa, yede nkunim slave a cross so ye nananom kwan ya ye fa so a yede emema ye nsutu kwan ma ye mbere no. Yakwakodi nkunim. His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama, Foreign Minister so na wuhunu no. Honorable Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa, Deputy Foreign Minister Honorable Jachi Kwesen and so ewo ho mpedifo nyina akwako piemu a sabre Ghana edin kunim ewo sa asemu a His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama would sasia yes countries no and esas no one more Belgium fan to am
of course. I know Belgium it's built on Sadio.
Amen. You know
the first country.
Wow. Hey, Timunya Toma, Guyana, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea. Oh, Africa winning. Tisabridia. Israel in USA at once no enim say
what are you expecting
Israel na mo biri mi Iran o ma to ase no ma man ba mo so na mo enjoy America for
say dey achichi o
ma fa ye wie
na Israel na ne
Italy for so anto man Japan anto man Estonia ene Hey, France.
Interesting.
Hey, France is anamity.
France, you know them.
Now France.
Beneficiary of slave trading colonialism.
France. England, France, and Belgium.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama. Ghana Mampeni. Yakwako Dinkunim vote in the Bohono. Sikari na mi hu do ebe do no say shape na de be
one of the highest achievements on the continent.
Yes, this is going to be one of the highest achievements.
It will be in the annals
ever in the history of Africa. Ever in the history of Africa. Say Mampeni bi every Africa etimi awura UN akoka kire o say de mu de be ye nkrofo na ye bone eti sabre ye wo se mo pata yen na ye di nkunim Africa edi nkunim ye Ghana na edi sade wo ye nim me ba cho we bia ye Ghana ni abonsem former His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama bonsem
because
it wasn't history has been made. Ghana is on the world map again. Ghana, Africa, Africans
in yes. Argentina no more blacks to say Brazil for.
Okay.
But shed that pass pe black skin so they extinguish them. Shed that kunkun blacks for Argentina.
That's history.
And not Argentina black. Argentina is a Latino country. Skin is Brazil. Argentina, Brazil. But shed that pass kunkun any black skin. That skin.
Wow. So Your Excellency Nyankopa wonsha na wonye okese what Ghana nim what Africa nim to see a one Africa for oya bia ye komu fa slavery ho asem a wo hwe ho dan yesisi Cape Coast ne mpatemu kwan a yen nananom fa so brei ye chichiri wom without their will see abaye ba be fawo by force na wo hwe dan a dano me call way back where Cape Coast Council hono.
Yeah.
Me well way. Honestly, that was the first time one. Na me call Cape Coast Council ho.
Yeah.
Me call baby aye na no die.
Easy.
Then na the aye me wan say Castle no top no. Ye wa sorry wo ho. Ah no mo ya sorry. Just on top of the castle. There be no mo sorry nyame ho. And so down there no na ekrofo mamini ye papa ni ye nananom e wo hono mu a sabi ba de sam obi didi okona jana ekrote hu no di obu ni nsa wote ho 3 months 4 months 6 months ni emfa won fa won koya na wunwu ya ensi okura nka ho na mo eti Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama Kwame Ababi o Nyankopon hia na onye okese enne dai womu fa sa wo ya onu wu nyina ba bi obi a obi esere obi ani age womu fa sa wo ya onu sa bere no abrofo ibedi Ghana sa bone no obi ani age Your Excellency Yakobo Nsha Ghana wini Africa wini sa bedie niema na omampani hwehwe se abrofo betimi ayede ama Africa wo bone kese a womu di no
obi anso breakdown saba tinye
obi a enti say ye yenim de ye ne beye na
obi a betwe United Kingdom na am say United Kingdom be so betwe
o me dey
o mo na campings
ono na ni ji age ono benefit a wonya free side o me ya de ketwa e bu say to media ni so dia ma TV SYZ. We are also live on Power 97.9 FM. We are live on Facebook at Power 979 FM and at TV XYZ. And I feel we'll call YouTuber XYZ Broadcasting. Yenti His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama wo bra wo de na no disem to dwai UN headquarters. Yenti numra.
Step bringing us closer to the kind of world we would want to leave for our children. And so delegates, on this beautiful day in March, were called to stand on the right side of history. Let it be recorded that when history beckoned, we did what was right for the memory of the millions who suffered the indignity of the slave trade and those who continue to suffer racial discrimination. Each step bringing us closer to the kind of world we would want to leave for our children. And so delegates, on this beautiful day in March, were called to stand on the right side of history. Let it be recorded that when history beckoned, we did what was right for the memory of the millions who suffered the indignity of the slave trade and those who continue to suffer racial discrimination. Let our vote on this resolution restore their dignity.
Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama announced Okasano, where UN headquarters. Na wɔkyerɛ sabri ekunimidia etimiaba ediama Africans was slave yi ho nsensɛm kwankwan efa so na abrɔfo yi ebefa ye nananom by force ye brubi ni ye kubi ni ye twibi fam de bi fa yakayaka die mu by force momra na moma build ye nkroma railway se wa brochire fa abibifo na edi omo ho kɔgye enkru to duma kase nyina bibifo na kɔyɛ Tisabede, His Excellency, the President John Dramani Mahama, wadi anim ama Africa edin kunim was ansemi ho the aka we kire bi was say amaya hodo a wo mudi sa dwumadi nyina wo yede ma Africa wo mudi yede ma Ghana was so mudi so no ye ne sa pepepe mama nka wo say abribia ne yaduane a ye ayedi no ehun hia pa anytime ye de beda ye kudu fie bi wo ho a na ade asa but community e bedidi ye didi wie ane ada me ba cho kai national so say koba ne sa pe o ma olive no eye adwuma de broso ama abribia ne ho kire no mana ho ode nso te medimosi se men kan cho so the left kid e de aba a 100% herbal supplement said we eba be boa olive no na abribia timi agina ne na so ne mafi bi e wo nipaduam eye free mu na even time kra wa ma na ye adwuma mroso no left kid abomodin etimi ama olive no akoso anya hoden na boa nipadua no na abribia efi ne ma bi ehu hia no etimi eye free nipadua no anya hoden de abobra no ma onsanka left kid nanonom nintimi mmoaw na oliva na abribia ma na ye adwuma mroso no emma na hode ese ne fata abre ne don bia kai na hyene so se pharmacy shops ne herbal shops nyina akwa onsa betimi aka left kid nimi nemom fre sa number we na medimosis fo anye so na afi omoma obi na tu na so ton na jiska fagu bochomo 0244 447 068 na on setimi aka left kid nibi na bo liver ho ban abre ne don nyina Victory Garlic Mixture Samen Kanchiraw. Se na se wuntini mu ana uvensi mu sisi a moje edi afru sane fa onipadua no no entimi nye saa enti saa bredi e se wote Victory Garlic Mixture nkape tutumika na onsanka bi se wo obi a unusual heartbeat wo ya de kakra bon se okoma ebo kim no abre me pa cha wo hia Victory Garlic Mixture stiffness of the hand and leg wonan ne wonsa nyina obon sa yetitiri na eno no se ananse ache mpa cha enya ananse na ache yare ma onsanka Victory Garlic Mixture na fe dizziness sa yare wa hudo nyina Victory Garlic Mixture won saka wono mo itimi ma moja di afusane ewo nipadua nim na sayare nyina etuna se kra se na nso se an enterprise woman na Victory Garlic Mixture aba adwama so ukọ okan shikin so kwa abenya bi won emo mo pendodo atu a for 0201 293 280 0201 293 280 and 0242 545 633 0242 545 633 now on set timiaka eye Victory Garlic Mixture bi China na try about some country say what the 30 days dey see ho what the year free therapy session and a free screening yarewa hodo bebre and wabobodi wo ha into o ma say on the 16th of March on bewie on the 24th of April but modern na fasa akonya so na koye unhwehwemu wo nipadua num ebi na sa yarewa bi hye ho kra na wonim yarewa bi ti say blood sugar test womo bedi ho djuma afi blood pressure check ni nyina no China natural herbal edi ho djuma afi stroke menstrual disorder fibroid bone problems free acupressure free physiotherapy free flexology and afi free massage for everyone free ultrasound screening for a man nyina no China natural herbal say womo yebi bomode na bra na afi womo njodo na yare we womo hu nso a wamfa edro a esene fata mfama na fakọ sa ho yare de wo be yipe eye folder 100 Ghana cedis de aka ni nyina no eye free na afi wo hu yade no a ba chaw ukuteska kakra bi a enuo ane lab kakra wo be yaka ho no wo de amom no mama bi na afi watimi anya hoden na de abo obra no take advantage of this 30 days and then you go so koso on be on the 24th of a year April into Bomodin so be China natural heba no di pidie papa se ne fata besi so na fe wo atimi ayeden ube hu machi akwan wo Pokuase ACP enkran ha na fe asama nso ube hu no mo agye kwadwo opposite New Queen's Court School eho enso China natural heba for ho Bomodin na friend number se ye bia na openchiremu bi aka ho na omfendom 0244 763 0244485763 na wanya omana se obetimi afre we so 0243 715004 0243 715004 na fe watimi ne China natural heba for edi nkomo edi afa sensemi nyina ho ye told media ni so edi ama wo aye fidua mu TVSYZ and Power 97.9 FM me sha say dey free so aye Mr. Brown na lawyer Brown big push projects aye jumedia aba Ghana yakwan yahodo nyina His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama any NDC abanya fasa akonya sano so say yakwan ya say dodo if yem fasa akonya iso ni yem fenye yakwan nyina contract ye de amadeda ama nipa hodo contractors ahodo ashase a won moye enwumen the minority in parliament said there be sir big push projects na ekoso no so sourcing dosu wo mododo prices ni bi okra ye inflate no ni bo eden dodo ase esum e big push project contract ahodo na ekoso no nti omo minority for wo makoma enjwom e wo sa big push project na ekoso no e be ye kra anko obi enyan na omo nye nhwemu asa na mato aso then na wo kan dia facility
menia hwe na yenti oman mu a big push project no the biggest amongst them are Accra Kumasi Express way no
yes
the day on Mampenyi announcing here no MP before MPs on Ashanti region eko ka say sai juma na Mampenyi person here no ehu here uni on mind
yes
oh you should big push project na we kaka akrebia chiro big push project no
yes
Accra Kumasi Express way 198.7 kilometers 6 lane 3 lanes here 3 lanes there about reduce time I had be fi Accra Kumasi as I say Kumasi 2.5 hours no we do Golden Orbital Motorways Outer Ring Roads Accra Outer Ring Road Kumasi Outer Ring Road Eastern Quadrant Sunyani 34-kilometer bypass Tamale Takrady Techiman Yina major roads on Honolulu. Strategic highways dualization. Accra Takrady Coastal Corridor 73 kilometers. Accra Aflau Road dualization. Winneba Mankesim dualization. Major bridges. Yebesi Bridge Kesia Bako on Oti River at Dambai.
Yes.
Another one Adosu River. Linking River Afram up in Afram Plains.
Yes.
Bridges are very rehabilitated. Yape Daboya and a bupe de crashes me to coin last year. Musa bupe de omoye.
Okay.
Corridor development, Eastern Corridor, completion of Tema, Esikuma, Howe, Kulungugu stretch. Western Corridor, upgrading Elubo, Enchi, Sunyani, Wahamile route. Omoye. And the government see Obe spending about 70 billion in 2028. Omodi Beyesa, Niamawe. With 30.8 billion and by 2026 budget here the Kamusa Omabe. Yes, I'm your man na Abeboa on my Ghana. ABC Omumpe Omodi propaganda.
Yeah.
Minia. Say a single sourcing, so sourcing. And Abeboa I'm a big push agenda bet me here. And son of Mampembe we in the Juma in 2028. I support it 100%. Your Maimo. By about 99.9% of a Jumana Akufo Domu ya road construction Jumano. You see nana so sourcing. But yehu esum fasobia. Na parliament na road minister.
Yes.
I say ye ka so sourcing na na. It's just about 44%.
Yes.
Now, 44% almost here because ejuma akufo do kromo sha so mo ntimi wie no eha oman Ghana no e wo say ye kenya ye ho ye nye ne ntem ent say ye delay a ebe ha oman Ghana ent na ye den ye so sense ni bi na so no man sha se keke anya nso omo ye value for money ye value for money audit ni sa niam we na say ade aye no e di mfa so bebre oman Ghana na obi asori a esan say ejuma pa omo ye a ebe go omo ni mu asente no o so mo di propaganda efa fremu na menua eka asem obi sa asem o say na so say no eno na Ghana fo ehia na say ejuma na ekoso a wu tu kwan wu kokumase first na nka wu fi your friend is a barrier.
Yes.
Jonte. Before we feed Jonte, edu nsawam John Shehonomono. You can spend about 5 hours.
True.
And yes, what being a CEO, me experience it.
True, yeah.
Na se see a omo ye kwan no ama a flow. Ah, bet me akọ wa ti say na President Kufoka yan na. Musi so saucy.
Yeah.
Now so saucy we go chop. We are talking of roads I be juma we see so saucy. Enti me no me see say so saucy. And ebe me Kumasi Expressway no kwamba some yen so saucy. Yen so saucy na. And no ebe ma ebe timi ahia say you say wo na wo ye. Wan nya ye timi atwe wan so.
Yes.
Now you see we should be careful about these MPP people. Enti me no sa niema na omuke cancer so ni we no mfa so bia eniso Ghana for muma nya afa adwenkro eta obman panyi mahama echiri ama bibiara betimi ayama ebeboa Ghana no muma yenye na development na yen o say in 2026 Ghana will be what a construction zone.
Yeah.
We are experiencing it.
Yes.
Let's pray for this country.
Very well.
Let's pray for the president. Let's pray for the minister of roads. Ama ejumapa mo here. She said they almost see a lot of markets across every district.
Yes.
24-hour economy market.
Yes.
Now we must see so sourcing.
David Warwi Brown Esquire, a senior lecturer at Accra Technical University. Lawyer.
Yeah.
MPP for the minority assembly can want to say contractor who draw ye my road contractor ye de ma under the big push project no emu na ho as a so sine doso emu yokusukuzu as scan kra no ebi mu apagya na eno na ma ye kotwen asense boache wo bra no ye roads and highways minister wo share rehabilitation of selected roads in Bantama and 8 environs phase 1 Kumasi alone ekoso man 143 billion 395 million 628.95 thousand Ghana cedis. What phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 in Kwana, what can this amount to Bomwa? And under the MPP crowd, what year of roads, most of the road contract of the mine was so sourced.
Yes.
Then
yes, said them can, the kind. So sourced,
yes.
In Nimramwana. Under the Public Procurement Act of Ghana.
Yeah.
She said, so omobubi so ana. These are issues I was raising. Say omobubi so dia na hu say omobutom.
See the
NDC yanka ho asem say. Oya procurement a yam famra kwan so.
Yes, see mo can be kire wom.
Say
time omo year of roads no mo the contract ahodo year so source no.
Elunti no can we also on so can be trasa. So we can't trasa on so also can be. So they say now for example Amasama Kwen
yes
okay
yes
after they go through the process no one of the most expensive administrative processes in Ghana is procurement.
It's true.
I can tell you most expensive processes are and what my muha procurement count what the price say of course I mean not just more you pay more.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
And even the stringent processes you have to go through. And until you na koso wo eye amasama pokwase wo. Contractor ya oni ho muntu an kan yi. Na say what's your salary eye ni ya.
My promo
up and down see and go through the national competitive bidding. Say na kan you wo kwan so.
So you look at the exigency of it. Nipa na demand. I mean, there are processes that warrant the sole sourcing regime. So, omo buswana. Muma yehu. That's the question which ask them. And yes, I will be a cabinti no. Meso me can be sa. No 2026. No mass sangana for this time of bread and butter issues. And yes, sir, obi can say why it's so sourcing tino. Ono so ye bia wasameka. In any case, how plan ye can be biri woman na demand contract.
Yes.
A man go for the machine ko juju kwan ho. A man so toy na can't me ko can't me ma. And that was sa ban. Just wo pesika already define the contract in ye. And
even with a 44% of social contracts, Honorable Kwame Agboja governs the Minister for Roads and Highways at the Bekana, a Ghanaian contractors.
Of course, I listen all the above.
Ghanaian contractors.
Ghanaian
capacity.
So that's it.
Yes.
Ghanaian contractors. And looking at the exigency of the matter, said they now ba a emergency na omuhia so omunko kwane so no. Meaning a national competitive building. You see a chrewa.
It may take some 2 years.
You don't know
before maybe award contract.
What you say?
Wow.
Now you don't know.
Yeah.
The year can. Serious issues and you can say. Me say that you should rethink about procurement processes in this country.
In this country.
Because
I agree with you.
One of
it's
normal
expensive.
Mine procurement processes.
Because and also no matter the amount, because you have gone through the process,
of course,
it is legal.
Yes.
But procurement, I did bet in a market, if I got to best 10,000 Ghana cedis. Ultimate procurement bids bano, or share wait me 100,000. But because I filed the procurement process, you have to go by it because it is legal. Meanwhile, I could walk to the market and buy it cheaper than going through that process.
So there's another point. Young passengers, why are you took on to 40 4?
Yes.
What is our major concern? Is it say benya kwampa faso? Na kwane bono eye value for money. Na mum ya hwe company bi obetuma ne de amano so nkoye.
Yes.
And I say you go through just the process shambolic e no bi ankoye. They am then so mukasa nyina one, they have not questioned the value of the contracts.
And even the quality of the route.
Omon question the quality of the route under construction. Omon question it.
Okay.
2, one question the timelines given so obi aya and obi anye. Nyina 3, omon timi ka say company bi wo ma ye de ma na ne nkrata tosini. It doesn't meet the requirements. 5, they have not questioned any short change processes in the awarding of contract to the sole sourcing.
Okay.
Because them ka sole sourcing no tia beka say dabre what to ani afro say Obrempong beje adwuma. It is never true. We go through processes. Emo dey no mubu so. They should let us know. Na enye nwa say Ghana for dodo na ani age say machines gu kwan so eye adwuma. Na omo hu say aban good way ntino. Yemfa bibi mebom. Adan so sourcing. Eno say tie aka ho asem. But that dem kana say. Eno di yam me entankofo no yemfa masem to nchen. Na den hwe aban adwuma pa oye. Yemo hu the Roma Ghana for hu. That is major. Because all kinds of do much there. They will always want to
drag
direct at a from Noma Pa Bani. Ebony historical years.
Yeah.
Nipa Amamiansa, a kid of Fomiansa, Israel, US, Argentina, Omkwane Tutia. Otias, a man boy for no want to bomb Kuma phone. Omkwane Tutia.
Racist.
What is the normal person? You can want
to be abstaining on the one to cry.
Yes, 52.
No.
Almost on the amount. No,
France and 2.
On 1 2. On one kid of one a red card for 3 and
you can't.
So what is it? Okay. So that is what we are talking about. What is it? I don't mean big push here, one of the major intervention in infrastructure development in the history of this country.
Okay.
And undoubtedly, MPP4 at any day, or formal records, money and classy, even within the short contract, investment, buying the room, we are going to be able to fee. So buying by on call robond beer. And on to me, and what's said in your time? Near accessible mumian.
Very well.
What is here? Issues are you raising then? So the contract maba with me a company, yet company, no new record beer. Within short time, what is Sunyani airport, runways at the man. Look at the rate inflated cost of the project. Was the company have any goodwill? Ajuma Bena now again, Tia man is so source.
Sure, so the man.
And do you have another time? ni ahwesa no mani nyina but they can say propaganda omo pese omo tumfu togu Ghana for na also be the futugu ani a no akato no ma pay course no
midase
that is the agenda.
Stephen Kingsley Benier wono Esquire deputy MD Edema Ghana Post ana wotin campaign for mienu ane David Warwi Brown wono ono so Esquire ene se me kan se lawyers for nkwa na me ne omudi djumedi ti onemi wasem bi Abraham ne yenka penefo mienu ana be kan yen se ne de ewufidua yi mu na afi nkoma ahodo na aka nyina no yetimi edeba wakrombe so no penefo medam asepa awusia ya de djumedi nyina be na wie na afi news team no so abomoden na ensema aka na omode aba beso ma menka as a power specialist eba hospital sayare wa hodo bi ti say hepatitis A B C D and E, fatty liver, sciatica, prostate, broken bones, ulcer, afi swollen neck and a fibroid. Ubehunu machi akwan ewo Kumasi Fiase Lake Businche kwan so opposite Josbro filling station. Accra omo kwabenya Pokwasi ACP road no so takrade omo Anaji estate adjacent Anaji MA primary school from omo number so on bejo sinechi mu akabi omo de asmo 0244544422 0244544422 0200383831 0200383831 and after WhatsApp person send you a message 0345 797878 0345 now after power specialist about hospital for so Divine Hope Eba Center say omo de otwa eba powder ba dra on saka one sachet na say wotimu a yare wa hodo bi ti say waist pains e man e mema nyina esa pulse sexual weakness low libido stroke ulcer menstrual disorder yare nyina otwa eba powder esa free ho kanasha no so say udidi wi ana obetimi anom say ya nopa wia nwumire ahomache wadidi awie nkwa na obetimi anom otwa eba powder wo bra wate sachet ba kwa no ede agu wom watam no wa woso no kakra na afi wanom ukokofo dia Gapsin Pharmacy ubenya bi ato ho kapeba wosunyane House of Drugs here Ashaman afi Boachi ansa o Cape Coast na Boachi eba otema PK Gombila otemale friend number si na Divine Hope Eba Center for womanyo so ema o otwa eba pada ni bi nto 0591 565-557 0591-565-557 and after 0550-639-037 0550-639-037 or Chaba Pada or so Jana Shewa Wababa. We shall have a Brema Quine, the Jumadi in Abanawi, or Quam Shara. Mr. Peter Cranton and after Mr. Emmanuel Kisi Abbas, woman Ashisha TV, so Nabibia Aye Kama, Ediama, Lizzie Naomi Makeup, Camera, and Kofia Sante, Elvis Francis, Aye Prince of Osu, and after Willie William Sefa, woman in our Wahano Mutra Camera, so TV, no Sube, Fernand, Swatch, Medibino, and Yaji. Midi and Obrempong, the grassroots president, who Quap my Kania, Metnasa, no crepe, dear minor, a befaso at Tumpo, Yami had much, Namino Bessentia, Macrow.